there's the record button. All right. So, good afternoon, folks. Phil Gallagher here, joined by Rich Cali, who you might know as an excellent Rug Delver player who recently took down the sort of super preliminary and qualified for the Players Tour, I believe is what they're still calling it now,
Yeah, I think that's what they're calling it now.
by playing Legacy. Rich, welcome, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and this is going to be a good time.
So I don't want to delve too much into your bio and too much into your thoughts on Rug Delver, because I heard you were on a podcast this week.
Yes, I was asked to guest on the Casual Ponderings podcast, and it was a lot of fun. We talked about Rug Delver as a the event. So if you want to check that out, you can find them at Casual Ponderings on Twitter, and I think the podcast is up on Spotify. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
They're good guys there. I enjoyed working with them quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agreed.
So, since you've done a lot of stuff on there, and did you write an article on this as well?
I plan to. I'm probably going to have it up next week, I think, and it's probably going to go up on the MinMax blog. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, speaking of folks who are doing some great work.
Seriously.
There's I won't quite say a drought of legacy articles, but a lot of content producers are moving more towards streaming and YouTube production than article writing, and I'm definitely guilty in that regard. So I really appreciate it when a good article goes up.
Yep, totally agreed.
So let's do the 2-minute version. Why might someone want to play Rug Delver in Legacy right now?
I think Oko is certainly one of the biggest reasons. It gives you an alternate game plan against a lot of the fair blue decks, and it's really important to attack from a different angle. And at the same time, it gives you just an answer to basically everything that shows up. It's a blue card, it pitches the force. I mean, it really does everything that most mid-rangey, aggressive blue decks want to do. And I think the other reason is that Tarmogoyf is good right now. I think it's big. It attacks. It doesn't need that much setup. It's just a really good card. It works very well when you have Okos in your deck because it can outsize Gomag Anglers. And I think those are the two biggest reasons. Hooting Mandrills kind of does like a Tarmogoyf impression, and sometimes it's a little better. Sometimes it's, quite a bit worse. But I think the creature base, the Okos, it really goes a long way towards this. And Veil Summer is just unbelievable. Just a ridiculous mana card too. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to just preempt a question that I know I'm going to get in the YouTube comments if I don't talk about it. Tell us about the Aether Gust in the sideboard. I know you talked about this on the podcast, but just kind of explain this one to people.
Yeah, so the idea is that it's pretty decent against the card Uro, because if Uro resolves, you can just put it on top of their library, and then they have to escape it again, and then they have to cast it from their hand again and escape it again, and that buys you a lot of time and setup. It also, Uro doesn't even have to resolve. It does it on the stack while it's just being escaped from the graveyard. It lines up really well there. It also works well against Oko. You can just do it in their draw step and buy time. It also, people don't expect it yet, so people fetch at kind of weird times, or they fetch on their upkeep, and you can just get rid of the card forever. In the same way you would do it with Submerge. It's definitely worse than Submerge when you explicitly want to hit green creatures, but the fact that it doesn't explicitly only hit green creatures, that versatility goes a long way. So you bring it in a reasonable amount of matchups.
I also think that it's huge that this card can hit enchantments. So this gives you outs to things like Choke, Carpet of Flowers, Sylvan Library that are all, very, very punishing cards if they resolve.
Yes. Yeah, as I've been testing it more, all of that kind of stuff has been coming up. It's also very good against Cavern of Souls. If they're casting a Primeval Titan with Cavern of Souls, it doesn't care. It just puts it on top. And usually that's going to buy enough time.
Yeah. I think the sideboard as a whole is very elegant. you have a decent number of slightly overlapping elements. So like you have Veil of Summer, you have Pyroblast, you have Red Elemental Blast for when you need to fight on the stack. You have Surgicals and Cages for answering permanents. You have a Braid, Grudge, Blazing Volley, Brazen Borrower. I really like the set of tools that this deck is bringing to the table.
Yeah, totally agreed. And one of the nice things about playing Dreadhorde Arcanist in smaller numbers is you get to play Grafdigger's Cage. And Grafdigger's Cage definitely isn't, it isn't always incredible. It doesn't really do anything against lands, but when it is good, it's one of the best cards you can draw. And just having access to that card without hindering your game plan in a particularly meaningful way is really good.
Yeah, I think a more common comparison is like to Null Rod. Like Null Rod isn't always good. In fact, it's not commonly good, but when it is good, it is just of crippling power level.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that I basically never go anywhere in my Delver decks without some Null Rod effect. I mean, this deck has Collector Roof, but it's the same principle. I just think it's so important to have access to that against Lionside Diamond decks. And the fact that this deck can more freely play Cage as opposed to Tormod Script and not have to have that kind of dyssynergy because you are usually bringing in Tormod Script when you're bringing in Null Rod. That's really nice.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to say before we just kind of jump into a league and see this deck in action?
No, I'm excited to get some games in. So
yeah, this is probably only, I don't know, like the second or third time we've played any Delver on this channel.
Oh wow.
I am very much
a little different than
a taxi boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Rug Delver Legacy League. Let's go. I've been playing mostly with Chalice of the Void shells these days.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to be. Have you been playing Eldrazi?
I've played a little bit of Eldrazi. I've played a decent amount of Red Prison. Played a little bit of Post. Played a lot of interesting Chalice decks, such as the Mono Black Curse Stompy deck that's been going around. That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we are rooting for Delver today. It's a weird day here.
Oh, this is an interesting hand to start on.
Yeah. Oh, geez. That's a weird one.
Man, it's if we had a fetch land, I think this would be a pretty easy keep. But man, this is tough. I think I would keep this. Oh man.
So this is going to be one of those hands where if we keep it, we probably have to do some risky stuff. So if our opponent casts something that we have to force a will on turn one, we probably try to brainstorm and hit a different blue card.
Agreed, yeah. And I think if they don't do anything we care about, we just don't brainstorm, play the Arcanist, and then don't fight over it, so we can set up a brainstorm on turn 3 to get as deep as possible.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it seems okay. It's not a pretty hand, but it should work.
I think we're leading on Volcanic Island here.
Yeah, I think so. That seems good.
Hey, man, welcome. And welcome to everyone else who has chimed in. Just as sort of a technical note, things are kind of backward on my end today. So normally my Moto window is on this screen, but today it's on this screen due to some Google Hangouts shenanigans. So I will be trying to pay attention to the chat, but I might be a little bit less interactive than normal. Librarian Rhino, thank you very much for gifting a sub. I will make sure to update the thing at the bottom a bit later. Okay, so we are playing against Death and Taxes here.
Yeah, I would think we should brainstorm here.
I agree.
We do basically want to force will this, depending on what else we see.
Okay, those are some magic cards. It's maybe
Yeah,
not the
that's decent.
fetch land we wanted to see, but this is still very good.
Yeah, I agree. We have. I don't think we're playing Delver next turn. We're actually probably gonna. If we're gonna force the Vial, we're probably gonna force removing the Delver. Would be my
I
thought.
think so.
Um,
So we're just gonna
and
like bury a Mandrels, put some other card on top, force pitch Delver.
yeah, that seems good to me. And then we have Arcanist, and if that sticks, it's going to be a big game. If it doesn't, then we can put it in on the following turn and see what we can do.
Yeah, and hooting Mandrels is like surprisingly annoying against D&T. The trample is super relevant.
Yeah, definitely. Reaple cheap. Hooting is better in certain contexts than Dreadhorde, Arcanist, and Oko, and it makes a lot of sense here. Yep, I like this.
So I'm usually of the opinion that if this thing goes unchecked for 2 turns against Death and Taxes, you usually just win the game.
Yeah,
That's kind of been my experience. It snowballs so quickly.
Yeah, it is technically worth considering that maybe because it's so important, we could have let the Vial resolve and then use the Force to protect the Dreadhorde Arcanist. But I think the Vial's going to give Death and Taxes too much game, and it's just going to be too difficult to like even manage that with the Dreadhorde Arcanist at a certain point.
Yeah, you don't want to be worried about like late. JK, we're playing Encephalid Breakfast.
Oh, we were wrong. Okay, this is crazy.
All right. Well,
yeah.
that is a thing that has occurred in this game of Magic.
Yeah, this new version of Cephalid Breakfast actually seems pretty good to me.
So,
yeah, this is interesting. So, do we want to attack, brainstorm, and get rid of some bad cards, or do we want to get map as deep as possible by preordaining? I guess that's what we have to decide.
So, like, what are we looking to do in this matchup? Essentially, just keep them from comboing off while presenting a larger clock.
Yep.
So theoretically, we'd like to grow this graveyard, but that's going to be somewhat difficult to do.
Yeah, because we are going to be going against it with the Dreadhorde Arcanist. I think it's probably better to attack the Arcanist to brainstorm because we really just can't have this second Hooting Mandrels in hand for too much longer. We're not going to see quite as many cards this turn.
Yeah, but we need to get rid of one, and in some disastrous draws, both of these.
Yeah, definitely.
We would love to find like a piece of disruption.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt, Spell Snare, something like that would be really good.
And something like a Tarmogoyf wouldn't be bad either. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, this was basically perfect.
1 Mandrels, 1 Volk.
Yeah, seems good to me.
Are we just bolting this now, or like are we holding this bolt until they play a second creature?
Yeah, I haven't played against this deck kind of infinite, so I don't know exactly what the best timing is. It just seems like one of the better creatures to get rid of now, like sooner rather than later. Yeah, I guess the thing is we have to kill it at some point, right? Because if the Cephalid ever goes on the stack, we have to kill this anyway, and we're basically going to be afraid of it the whole game. And if another creature ever resolves, we're not going to get the chance to kill the Nomad.
Yeah.
Because, so I think we're supposed to probably let blocking happen and then bolt it post-combat. But I guess we can shuffle off the Wood of Foothills preordained first.
Yeah. What do we want the second of here? I guess the Trop, since we have another Volk in hand.
Yeah, it's awkward if we put it into like another Lightning Bolt on this turn, but I think it's like the odds of them comboing us are kind of low next turn, I think, if we kill the Nomad, so. Yeah, I mean, Ponder's
we want that Ponder. We don't want the Flying Strand.
Yep, definitely. And I'm gonna think we're probably gonna cast ponder here
I think
too.
we cast it. Yeah, we're looking to grow the graveyard so that we can play the mandrels next turn.
Yeah, we also kind of want like a daze. They play like Recruiter of the Guard and that kind of stuff. So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
those cards look good.
those are very good. Order is interesting. I guess the force probably goes on bottom here.
I think so, yeah, because if we get to if for some reason we don't get to attack with the Dreadhorde Arcanist next turn, we want to make sure we have the Ponder as opposed to having the Force Will.
Do we want to just main phase this?
Yeah, I would just bolt it now.
I'm really unsure on what degree of patience I'm supposed to have versus this deck. I have not played against the Neo version of this deck basically at all.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. It does seem kind of tough. In post board, they're bringing in like 3 true names and then using that with Nomads in core to make it like invincible, which is kind of crazy. But because you just keep redirecting the damage from Nomad to the true name, and then true name doesn't take the damage.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty wacky, honestly.
Yep. I don't really care about that vial.
Yeah, no, not really.
At this point.
It's going to be a little slow.
All right. So we have 5 cards in graveyard, so we can ponder, cast a Hooting Mandrels, have a daze. There's this force on top of the library that we can redraw as well.
Yeah. I probably just like starting with a ponder. I don't even think we want the force now that the vial resolved. We just kind of want like lightning bolts because we need to be able to disrupt on their turn, and we are probably playing. Oh man, these cards keep being pretty decent.
Yeah. So we could draw force here, draw brainstorm next turn, or
well, we're probably gonna see. So we could just draw brainstorm and cast it, get rid of the volcanic island, add the force to our hand. Right, because then we get that. And then we still have the ability to cast cantrips from our graveyard, so that's pretty decent. And we actually want the fetch land pretty actively because we need a non-spell to fuel that Hooting Mandrels.
All right. So we're getting rid of Volk, and what is our second?
Maybe we just get rid of. We could also just get rid of the Flutterstrand, attack Preordain, bottom both, and then how many cards are we gonna have in the graveyard? 1, 2.
So we have 6 in graveyard. The brainstorm will be the 7th card in graveyard.
7th, and then we're still gonna have a brainstorm in hand, and we can leave. Maybe it's worth just putting back volcanic and brainstorm, and then when we preordain, we just bottom the volcanic, top the brainstorm. So then our hand's basically going to look exactly the same, but we're gonna have a more free card to get rid of with the Hooting Mandrels.
Sure.
Because we'll have the Flutterstrand.
So just to confirm, Volk and then brainstorm on top.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, this is going pretty well as long as we don't die to the combo. So hopefully we can get some lightning bolts together here.
Yeah, so for anyone who thinks that like playing Rug Delver is easy, and I hope there's not too many of you out there, you can hopefully see how many ridiculous decisions we have going on here. So I want to fetch now so I can leave.
Yeah, it does make our brainstorm a little bit worse, but we have all these cantrips in our graveyard. And this allows us to pay 2 mana too, because I don't think we really need to hold a brainstorm. So we can keep more cards in our graveyard. Basically, we only have to get rid of like... Maybe we just get rid of the brainstorm because we have one in hand.
Yeah, that seems fine to me. I believe it's probably difficult to lose from here. Not impossible, mind you. But
we need a little bit more to feel very safe, I think. I think like, if we can...
A lightning bolt in hand would probably lock things up.
Yeah, agreed.
That seems like a pretty free daze.
Yep, pretty good daze target. They're probably thinking they don't... Like, either they don't have enough time to wait, or they have like the combo set up in hand already, and they're just like, I don't really care about the Stoneforge. I'm gonna go Nomad end of turn into Cephalid.
I think we do a pre-combat brainstorm.
Agreed. Yep.
Oh wow. Okay, those are cards.
Yeah, not bad. I guess Force Negation's not really doing much, and the second Arcanist might be worse than Tomahawk. I'm not sure about that exactly.
I don't know. The force negation is still something to pitch.
Yeah, that's true, as opposed to getting rid of this brainstorm. So maybe we could also just like, So if we want to play a creature this turn, I think we also want to try to find. We still want to find a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna like ponder shuffle. Maybe we still want to keep the land in hand.
Yeah. So like, this guy's going back. The force of negation could go on top, and it could be something that I don't know. We're probably shuffling with the ponder.
Yeah.
It's super awkward.
So what, we have 5 power. We played the Tomahawk. That's 5, 10 with the lightning bolt in the graveyard. That'd be lethal next turn.
Yeah.
So I think we do want to try to play Tomahawk this turn if we can. So maybe we just go to the force of negation.
Okay.
And we'll just like pitching the brainstorm.
That looks like a shuffle to me.
Yep, agreed.
That's interesting.
That's not bad actually. We could turn the vial into a 3/3, so they can't have an uncounterable Cephalid next turn. That might be playing a little bit too scared.
I feel like that's playing pretty scared.
Yeah. Another thing we do just have lethal next turn if we play this Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna force them to do something. So I think that's probably okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess they
great.
were letting everything resolve pretty quickly. It felt like they were F6, and it's pretty unlikely they're going to kill us from this situation. So, yep, that's probably fine.
Yeah. Even if it lets them live a touch longer, I don't think that's worth 2 cards
agreed.
for.
Probably just start with the brainstorm, because if we find lightning bolt, we're still forcing them to kill us. Yeah.
Land days back.
Yeah, seems good. And then we can like shuffle Bonder. We probably just don't care that much about this Hoko at this point. But we still might turn the thing into a 3/3, the vial. Just
there's the bolt.
Oh, should be good. So probably like we could bolt Nalkabiba now, or we could attack with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, bolt it off of the Arcanist.
I like holding the bolt to see if something weird happens there.
Yep, agreed.
Okay. Dead?
Yeah, I guess just bolt him.
All right.
Looks good. I kind of like the way we played that. It was a little scary for a second, but I think we navigated that pretty well.
Okay, so we probably want a little bit of additional interaction and maybe some ways to muck with their ether vial.
Yeah. So they do have Stoneforge Mystic for Battleskull and Shuko.
And we also need to be thinking about True Name for post-sideboard games.
Definitely,
which definitely
yeah.
makes
And
these good.
yeah, and I've seen them have Cavern and like 4 Sword Splashes post-board too, so we should just like be mindful of that. I definitely think we want the Pyroblasts. Pretty sure we want Ancient Grudge of Braid. And Oof does look decent. I mean, against the Vile decks, it's really just not bad.
Yeah, it also stops equipment. So
Yeah,
just shutting off the Shuko for the combo end, or stopping a Batterskull being equipped to a True Name Nemesis or something like that is pretty good.
Totally. In terms of what we don't want, Force Negation looks pretty bad. It's just really going to be stopping Vile, right? We're bringing in answers to the Vile.
I agree with that.
Daze is the kind of card that could be awkward. You know what? Actually, I would probably bring out at least one Wasteland because they showed us a bunch of basics.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Our curve is going to be like a little bit higher because we're bringing in some 2-drops, but should be okay.
So
Help Pierce also looks kind of mediocre, right?
Seems weak, but Snare seems strong.
Yeah, agreed.
And then are we just gonna like trim 2-ish Dazes?
Yeah, that seems fine to me.
Things work out.
Yeah, that seems totally fine with me. Sometimes against combo decks, I side out like a Hooting Mandrels, but it actually seems good against their combo deck because they're gonna put out some blockers, and we can trample over. That seems pretty nice.
Trampling over True Name is also relevant.
Yeah.
The only other thing is I'm looking at the Brazen Borrower in the sideboard, and I don't know what to think about that here.
That kind of describes my experience with Brazen Borrower. It's like, do you just bring it in because it can kind of answer Vile for a turn and buy you enough time? I don't know. It does seem a little bit underwhelming, and I don't know if it's better than anything we have.
Yeah, I don't think I like it on the draw, but I might like it on the play.
Yeah, that sounds good.
This seems fine to good. We have multiple pieces of interaction, a swift clock, and something to pitch the Force of Will.
Love it. Yeah, and these are the games that it's like Tarmogoyf really shines as opposed to like something like Alchemist. Alchemist would be flashing back a Lightning Bolt, and if we do a cantrip, that would be pretty good. But Tarmogoyf's just going to start attacking, and it's going to hit them really hard and put them under a lot of pressure. So,
yep. I mean, seems like that's going down.
We do have the Abrade, but at the same time, yeah, I think Abrade is a removal spell that matters in this matchup. So just like getting rid of the Vile now.
I feel like this Oko is going to be clunky in our hand.
Agreed.
And I would rather force them to use their mana to put in a 1-drop.
Yeah, plus our 2. Yeah, plus our 2 mana spot is going to be a little bit. We want to cast Tarmogoyf on 2, not Abrade on 2. So
this also puts 2 relevant types into the graveyard now for Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, definitely. Good draw.
Okay, yeah. So this one is fine. And I think we even are going to just let that one tick up.
Yeah, I agree.
Rather than a Braid. I also don't think we end step Brainstorm.
Also agree. Not bad, but Tarmogoyf seems good here.
Yeah. Hooting Mandrels is probably going to be like a turn 4 or 5 play here, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good one, I think, because we'll be able to cast something else in that turn, and that's going to be pretty solid, but we have quite a while from that. Yeah, I think the only time I consider underturn Brainstorm, well, not the only time. I actually think I underturn Brainstorm a little bit more than most people is when it's mostly when I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to use it before the game ends. I don't think we have that concern here at all.
Yeah. I don't play a lot of Brainstorm, but when I do, I try to think on like a 2-turn scale.
Yep.
If I can't cast this Brainstorm and have it be good in the next 2 turns, I'm fine with just firing it off to gain additional information and help me sculpt those turns. And I think that's somewhat likely to happen in these decks that have Oko in particular.
Yeah.
Like where you are potentially curving like Tarmogoyf into Oko, and so just casting that Brainstorm end of turn 1 to like have a better chance at hitting your land drops or finding a Daze or Force is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. The cards are just very powerful in this deck, and maybe in like all Legacy decks these days. So just like brainstorming to set up your powerful cards on future turns is pretty meaningful.
Okay. So there's this Brainstorm, and then there's this Tarmogoyf, and the Abrade as well.
Yeah, it is a little weird because if we want to abrade this vial, we are going to be opening ourselves up to the combo because they can just put it in, we abrade the vial, and then they play the cephalid and we die. That being said, if we let the vial go up to 2, it starts to get a lot more awkward for us. I think the safest option might be to attack with Tarmogoyf and then wait until their upkeep to abrade the vial, because then we'll know if there's a nomad that we have to be concerned about. And if there isn't, then we know we can pretty safely just hit the vial.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. And I don't think we need to take the risk of missing on the Brainstorm to make a land drop here.
Agreed. It would be nice to hit a land drop, but it's so risky. Because then they just get to represent the vial combo like anytime.
I imagine they're probably pretty light on the combo for the post sideboard games, but I don't
I think so.
actually know. Yep.
Yeah, that seems fine.
There's some temptation to abrade in response, but I don't really want them to sculpt their hand knowing that they're not going to have the vial. All right.
Cool. I think now we can just safely hit the vial and the upkeep here. They only have 4 cards in hand. Technically, True Name's a little bit annoying here because it's up to 1 Tarmogoyf, but we just have enough threats where we can just overpower it.
Yeah, we're just going to play like Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
And then a Big Bad Ape and be good to go.
Yep, totally.
Okay.
Sure, that makes some sense. That was going to get us kind of no matter what, so.
Yeah, we're definitely tight on mana this game. So uncounterable Stoneforge into uncounterable True Name, though, would definitely start to get spooky.
Agreed, yeah. Cabal Therapy, maybe? Sure.
Now might be the point where we need to start thinking about Brainstorm to hit a land if we don't draw one naturally.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think we're brainstorming off of Volk to leave open the possibility of Tarmogoyf afterwards.
Yep, agreed.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so what do we do? So I guess we have no castables except the Force Will, and what are we going to do next turn? I guess Hooting Mandrills is going to be better than Tarmogoyf next turn because it can still attack through the true name.
Yeah. So we essentially just like keep the blue cards in hand,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't matter too much what we actually put on top of the library here.
Yeah, I think it's just like a matter of which threat are we definitely not casting, and I think you're right that we're just not casting the Arcanist. It's just the only one that like doesn't make any sense here.
All right.
That one I'm okay with.
You do you, Narcomoeba.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% sure that our opponent can be attacking with this true name yet either.
Oh, almost certainly not. Once they get a Stoneforge, they'll be fine. But for now, they definitely just have to hang out.
And like Narcomoeba attacking for 1 every turn doesn't really count as a clock.
No, not really.
Opponent's going to be able to pivot really well at some point.
Yeah, it depends on like what kind of cards they're drawing here. What's this? What was that? Oh, Loomdale's Vault. Yeah, the easy spells now. Okay, that's a weird card. The classic Loomdale's Vault true name deck, but
very. I guess like it does its part in sculpting the combo side while also just not being abysmal when you board into weird Stoneblade.
Yeah. Okay, I actually think we're kind of winning. We have to be a little bit scared of maybe the future because we don't have like much disruption if they ever put together the combo. I actually think this turn we might just want to cast a Tarmogoyf because now we can just start attacking through the true name, and we don't have to hold up Lightning Bolt.
Okay.
Because we don't have to be afraid of anything this turn, and then on the next turn we can just like attack with both of our creatures. If they double block a Tarmogoyf, we bolt the Narcomoeba, which will pump the Tarmogoyf, correct? Yeah, and then we can play Hooting Mandrills, and then we'll still have Force of Will, Oko as backup, and then we're gonna have 3 4-powered creatures attacking through one single true name nemesis, and that seems really strong.
All right, do your thing.
Yes, the Stoneforge is of course the worst case scenario. Yeah, but maybe you know what? It might not be that bad because it just changes the way we're gonna like sequence our next. No, actually, this is fine because we can just bolt the Stoneforge. We have.
Oh man, just cast that Jitte right now. Just cast that Jitte right now. Get greedy. Get greedy.
Yeah, come on. You can just finish this off right now. Just cast it.
Do it.
End us.
They're thinking about it.
And even if they don't, we're just gonna bolt the Stoneforge and Force Will it next turn. So yeah, this is a pretty decent situation still. And our play from the previous turn hasn't really changed.
Yeah, now we just crash in and have, like, if they double block, we are bolting the Stoneforge, and yep.
Totally agreed. And then we play Hooting post combat, and we're good.
Actually, Tarmogoyf's size is after we get rid of our graveyard is artifact, instant, land.
It should be the same, right? Because we don't have sorcery in our graveyard.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. We just do be a little bit mindful of that, but we also have control because we only have to get rid of 5 cards, and we're gonna have 6 in our graveyard. So.
Nice.
Yeah, this is good for us. Because like getting rid of the Narcomoeba now is nice, because now we don't have to be concerned about it trading with our Hooting Mandrills next turn.
So I get to leave one of these.
Yeah, probably Lightning Bolt, because then we can play Dread or Darkness in the next turn, and then we'll just have a Bolt to the face on 2 turns from now.
Agreed.
Because they are going to take, 8 this turn and go to 3, and then they're just dead still at that Lightning Bolt. So they only have 2 turns to either stabilize in some way or kill us. And that should be pretty difficult. They'd have to draw pretty well.
Yeah. I guess no. Even Spell Pierce here isn't that great.
Yeah, they'd still take a lot of damage. They'd have to equip this GT. Yeah, we should be good.
Nice.
Nice. Hey, we did it. That was cool. That was a really cool match. There were a lot of interesting things happening, and a lot of decisions we had to make depending on how they were going to play and what they were going to be able to do. That was cool.
All right, I'm gonna skim over chat, see how many various things that I missed. Yeah, no chokes today. No carpet of flowers. No chalices. Like we're fighting the fair blue fight, and it's going well so far.
Delver hand. This is in the podcast I talked about liking Tarmogoyf as opposed to more Dreadhorde, and this is like the exact hand that indicates that. We don't have to stop our curve at any point. We just go 1, 2, 3. We don't have to play a cantrip. We don't have to have a 1-3 on board at any point. Well, I guess Tarmogoyf's going to be a 1-2. It's going to be worse for a hot second. But actually, no, it's going to be 2-3. They cast a Ponder.
Yeah. And if our opponent is leading on Snow-Covered Island, we can probably expect them to just put an instant in the graveyard as well without us casting one.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and our opponent is probably playing a more controlling or mid-ranging deck, given Prismatic Vista.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, that's good for us. And it's really nice that we have this Oko in hand because we'll be able to set up an alternate game plan to defeat all their removal.
Yeah, this game's looking good. Like, we just have crazy threat density right now.
Yeah.
The Hooting Mandrills is probably something that I would want to shuffle back if we end up finding a Brainstorm.
Yeah, I'd definitely be considering it.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That's a pretty good draw. So I guess we can expect that they might have Iceman Quaddle.
Yeah, it's okay if they do. Like, we attack, we bolt that thing, then we play Delver instead.
Yeah, I like that. That seems good to me. Like, while we do want to get this Oko in play, applying pressure is going to be pretty meaningful. Yep.
And that puts a creature into the graveyard, growing the Tarmogoyf.
Yep. I like it all.
Fuck!
Okay. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so I did it in response to the trigger. So that I would play around.
I would have also done it in response to the trigger, so.
Yeah, and just for anyone not familiar with Force of Negation, it's only free if it's not on your turn.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. At least we're gonna. Well, I guess we have some choices here. We could play the Delver. They're gonna have 4 cards in hand, right?
Yeah.
But then if we have to force a negation, we're kind of like leaving ourselves with our worst threat. It might just be worth at this point just trying to pivot into Oko.
I agree with that. It seems weird, but it feels correct to me.
Yeah.
Because like I am most scared of something like Oko or Jace hitting the board while I have like no true interaction with that.
Yeah.
I think we're jamming.
I think we're jamming. Yeah, we don't really have any backup. I don't think we can wait. If we had Force of Will, we would do that. But as it stands, this is probably the best.
Like I don't have a cantrip to sculpt this turn, so like otherwise I'm just playing Delver Pass with Lightning Bolt and Wasteland available.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that is just Ambush Viper. They're not getting true value out of that.
Yeah, especially when it's a card that can be really devastating against us because all of our creatures died to Sword Splasher. So this is good.
Yeah, this is the position you like to be in, like where you have the Oko, you're going to have the bigger creature, and you have a counterspell for their Oko prepared.
Yeah, definitely just force this. There is some, and even if this resolves for them, we still just kill it. We make a 3/3 and then we bolt it. So
Nice.
this is looking good.
Um,
So I guess we have some questions here, right? Do we want to bolt? I don't think we need to. And if that's the case, we can probably ponder off the volcanic and see what's up, and we can wasteland their tundra and then play Queen Managers off Tropical Island and plus the Oko and attack for 3. That seems pretty decent.
Yeah.
Those are stinky.
Yeah. I don't even think we want like the land or anything here.
No, agreed. Especially because like Days would be a really good draw. Weirdane's still fine.
Well, I guess this is probably slightly better sequencing.
Yeah, probably. I guess actually maybe it's slightly worse just because if they were going to Sword Splash as our food, we'd rather them hit the food, not the mantles.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep, there it is. I don't know that they would have sourced the food anyway until end of turn, but like,
yeah, I agree.
We gave them the opportunity to not make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the situations that I really like to be in against these snow decks, where they like don't have an answer lined up. We have this pressure going on board. Whoa.
This is game 1, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
All right, we're still okay, but this is, I guess, not the situation I like to be in, where they're pyroblasting our thing made game 1.
That's not bad. I think we bottom the force and then just slam a Goyf post combat.
Yep, I agree. Like, it's technically worse if they have Terminus, but I play into Terminus so often with Double decks. It's just like, you have to force them to have it. They really just don't always have it.
I think it's often correct to play into... Fuck me! All right!
This is bizarre. It's weird that we're actually okay, because we left ourselves with a red card in hand, but...
Yeah,
what the hell is this deck?
Well...
Yeah, Bold, get in for 8, and then force them to have something on the following turn. Something specifically very good.
And this wasteland, like, I only get to cast Lightning Bolts and Dreadheart Arcanists for the rest. All right.
Wow.
They pitched an Oko there?
They are making some bizarre choices.
Okay. All right.
Oh, cool. I guess we just attack and put them to 9. We don't have them dead next turn. But we have a lot of pressure on them, so. Ooh. Okay, they're gonna take it.
Jump? What are... Okay.
This is pure legacy right here.
I just hold this wasteland, right? Just
yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Cards in hand that are meaningful.
Technically a decent draw from them, but
it's super awkward. They basically just wanted to top deck Oko right there.
Yeah.
Like Oko plus on their Astrolabe. Use an elk to trade with a food.
Yeah, if we get Terminus or Swords, it gets a little awkward, but they do need they need either Terminus or multiple things. And hopefully we're okay in that situation. They only have 3 lands. They've drawn 4 or 5 this game, so.
Assuming we get 1 attack in, any one of the 4 bolt effects that are remaining in our deck also just represents lethal.
Totally. And Dreadheart Arcanist is still castable, so.
For people asking why we bolted there, we wanted to push the points of damage with Tarmogoyf there. We didn't want to give them the opportunity to just chump block.
Yep, it's just more damage. If we're gonna bolt their face, we'd rather just like deal like lava spike their
Okay.
not lava spike, lava axe their face. Okay, well,
Decisions have been made for us. Decisions have been made for our opponent as well. They're obligated to chump block the Tarmogoyf.
And now they just need to draw Terminus or Sword Splashes into, or Snapcaster into Sword Splashes plus something else.
Or Ice Fang into sorts of plowshares. Like it's
Yeah.
it's got to be like the runner sorts of situations.
Yep. And we can still just draw Bolt and kill them.
That leaves them dead on board.
They can still draw Sword Splashes.
Oh, okay, that's true. All right, what was your top card? Swords to Plowshares?
Show us.
Does not appear
was
to
not.
have been Swords to Plowshares.
We defeated the anti-Rug Delver main deck cards.
So our opponent is, I guess, 4-color miracles with some spicy choices.
Yeah. So basically, I almost always sat out all my wastelands going into game 2. Sometimes I bring some in going into game 3, depending on if they just fetch up a bunch of like non-basics. But it's basically not going to be a card ever.
Okay.
So I always start there.
So I'm probably looking at these 7 to bring in. Does that?
I like those. Yeah. This is also the reason I have Collector Oof as opposed to Nullad, because I like bringing it in here, but I wouldn't bring in Nullad. Because Collector Oof, it's still a 2/2 that's going to make their Astrolabes a little worse. And you don't mind having more creatures.
All right. We would need to board out 4 cards other than the Wastelands if we're going to proceed.
Yeah.
Boarding in all of these.
Chain Lightning is not great.
Yeah, they can technically pay in some fringe scenarios.
Yeah, and it doesn't kill Quaddle at the time you want to. It's just like kind of not that meaningful. Let's see what else. I think some number of dazes on the draw. While they do have a bunch of 3-drops, they can play around it pretty easily. So 1 to 2 dazes seems okay. And sometimes I just bring out like we are bringing in the Collector Roof. I could just bring out like a Hooting Mandrels or something like that. It does just die to Swords to Plowshares. We are bringing in the extra threat in Sylvan Library. Sylvan Library is not like a real threat. It's not attacking their life total, but what it does in this matchup is absolutely game changing. So,
okay, that all makes sense to me. All right, looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely bounce the Goyf over the Elk there, because we can't cast it anyway. So, while an awkward hand, it's also fine. If we find another land, we're good. So,
yeah. Plus, this is a matchup where we have time, relatively speaking. So if we flounder around for a couple of turns and draw out of it, it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we probably just ponder. We just want to land, and they don't have like counterbalance or anything. So, 2-drops.
Wow, those are quite good.
These are basically the best possible. So
I think this is going on bottom. Then Ball can draw the days here.
Agreed. Yep. And we're gonna have some like versatility with how we want to deploy our threats. Do we care about them playing collateral? Do we care about them playing sword splashes? We kind of have to like figure that out, because we could just play Tomagoyf, bait out a plow, because they're probably gonna plow it. But
yeah, I kind of want this to be my mid-game threat once we've kind of exhausted some amount of their disruption.
Yeah, I agree. It is awkward in the face of collateral, because Dreadhorde Arcanist doesn't care that much about collateral, because I mean they'll trade, but you'll get your card back anyway. So, but I think Goyf's just fine. Yeah, I like Goyf. But they still do need another snow permanent. They played a Tundra, which is kind of communicating something to us. Yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. But
yep. We are taking the 1-for-1 trade. Yeah, I wonder what their like land distribution actually looks like in their deck.
Yeah, definitely. We
So
could try to get greedy with Brainstorm. Um, I think I kind of like just like playing Arcanist or something.
yeah, now that we have a second one, we don't like super care about this if it doesn't resolve, and if it does
Yeah.
resolve, like awesome.
Yeah, and like it's awkward if they play a land next turn and then like play a 3-drop we really care about. But at the same time, I think this is worthwhile. We can just brainstorm next turn to try to set things up, and we're still forcing them to do something. The onus is still on them, so they're probably Terminus now, which is fine.
Yeah, when Terminus is a 1-for-1, I am fine with their 1-mana remove my creature. That also required them to set it up.
Yep, totally. They had to cast a pretty mediocre brainstorm in order to do that. So.
Oh man, just fetch and like play an Oko and let me daze it. I'd be so happy. They didn't do it.
That's a good draw.
I think that means we want to brainstorm now.
So we could brainstorm now. That seems decent. We could also play one of our threats and hold up Spell Snare plus days, which is not too bad. The question is, what do we care about spell snaring? It's Icewind Coatl and Snapcaster Mage, I would say, are the biggest ones.
Yeah, actually, I think I like holding up Spell Snare now.
Yeah, because we can always, worst case, we could brainstorm end a turn if we really want to try to set up our next few turns. It's not the best value, but it's actually okay. And I think we have to determine which threat we really care about. And I think Dread Arcanist is probably the best one here.
This is the better threat, I think.
It's definitely the better one, and I think we've already gotten through 2 removal spells. They have 4 cards in hand.
And we also like blank a Snapcaster as a removal spell. So
Definitely. Yeah, and especially because they might untap, think they're going to Snapcaster Sword Splashes to play around days, and then we'll Spell Snare them. So that should be a good way to like break the way they're thinking. Yeah. Yeah, cool with that. I guess technically at some point, if they enter all threats, we'll have to be considered with Mentor. That's a possibility, yeah. I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
It's only a 4 cards in hand.
I think we're just holding our brainstorm still. I don't need to get greedy. This game's going to go longish. So we can brainstorm off Volk and then play Goyf while also holding up a snare if we're willing to play out another land.
It's interesting. So the only problem with brainstorming is we don't necessarily want to get rid of anything yet. They didn't play a land last turn, so days might be a little bit better than it might otherwise be on turn 5. I guess they're turn 6 going into it. But I don't hate just like it does set us up pretty well, and it gives us a lot of information. I think I like brainstorming.
Okay. I could also just see like Tarmogoyf pass holding up Spell Snare days.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. And then our brainstorm will be pretty good next turn to rebuild.
Yeah, because like if we brainstorm this turn, we're either like not playing the Goyf with multiple layers of protection, or we're like committing to playing another land.
Yeah, so we also have to be mindful of the fact that they have Blood Moon. So it's possible that if we don't cast our spells, we might never get to cast our spells.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a tough one. Maybe you know what? How about just play Polluted Delta, play Tarmogoyf, hold up Brainstorm, Spell Snare, and Daze, because we don't have to brainstorm if we don't need to. But if the situation gets really dire, we do have multiple things to do here. So.
All right. Well, that's actually super interesting.
So it's worse in the face of a Jace, but Spell Snare is going to do a lot more over the course of this game, I think.
This Daze is also just so good for our brainstorms.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. That's a very good point.
What? It doesn't super matter, but what should I bounce here?
Let me think. I think because if we Brainstorm, Fork. I think we want to return Trop. Because then we can fetch a Trop. No, we can fetch a Volk. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter because we just have like a good
Since we have
mix
double
of the
fetch
cards that matter.
lands,
Yeah,
and we don't have
double
any
fetch lands,
colored
and we
spell
have
in
different
hand.
1-mana disruptions that we can possibly draw. So it doesn't really matter.
That's worth brainstorming to find
Yep.
one of our forces for.
Yep, definitely. We also have Pyroblast. Veil Summer would actually be fine because we could stop them from bouncing Tarmogoyf.
Okay, so I should fetch Volk here then
I think so, yeah.
to just make it easier to cast Veil without making my future mana clunky.
Oh,
All right.
interesting.
Are they gonna like Veil in response here or Pyroblast it?
I guess they're gonna Pyroblast.
Seems like
That's-
a very greedy Pyroblast if that's the case.
I agree. So we could just let this resolve, let the Jace resolve. They basically have to bounce the Tarmogoyf or do something of that nature. And then we can like replay, like brainstorm on our turn, or we can brainstorm in response, try to find one of our remaining dazes. I think that's worse though. I think I would let this resolve. Yeah, and then let that resolve too.
All right, I'm gonna take your word here.
It's not pretty, but we only have 1 days left to find. We have a couple of forces, but
like it's
and it
forces.
could get bad if our brainstorm misses on our next turn. Like if we find force and we don't find like Pyroblast, yeah, that's not a pretty situation. But we also have lightning bolts to find. We have a lot of outs to this Jace.
Okay. That's a spot where I, as an inexperienced player, would have 100% brainstormed a second time. But I totally see your logic.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay, not the worst. We have the ability to play a couple of threats.
So I feel like one snare is going back.
Yeah, we could put back Snare Trop and then play Hooting Mandrills and Delver, hold up Force Will with Tom. So our hand would just be Force Will, Spell Snare, Tarmogoyf. Then they have to brainstorm into something that answers multiple cards. They can't just bounce the Hooting Mandrills.
Okay, I'm in for that. I don't think we need to be worried about days, but I'm going to cast this one first anyway.
Yeah. And even if they set up a Terminus, we still have the Force Will to give us a potential play to make.
And we have a Spell Snare for an Ice Fang Coatl that tries to ambush something on our turn.
Yeah, the situation's not incredible, but it's not that bad. Depending on how they follow up here.
This is better than average than I would
Yeah.
expect after my opponent untaps with the Jace.
Yeah. I think if we had more dazes in our deck, I probably would have brainstormed in response. Just we would have. I think we only have 1 left, right? Did we sideboard? No, we sided out. We had 2 left.
Yeah,
I think we had all 4.
Well, we used 1 daze, so we had 1 remaining in deck. So we had
Oh yeah.
4 force of will, 2 force of negation, 1 daze as our hits. So we had 7 hits in I don't know, 45 or 46 cards, something like that.
What do we have here? An Oko?
I think that has to get forced.
Yeah, I like forcing this.
One planeswalker is tenable. Like we can beat that, but 2 in play, that is going to be rough.
Yeah, it begins to get pretty bad for us.
Don't have Veil.
Well, we also know they don't have Terminus, which is at least something.
Oh, well, that's not green mana.
Snap Pyroblast.
Okay.
Okay. That's not necessarily the worst. It depends on what we can find from here.
Whether or not the Delver flips is also really big game here.
Yes, totally. If it flips off Pyroblast, I think we're just like very in the game.
That is the dream. Okay, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Delver. Flip to Veil of Summer. Yes, it's awkward that we telegraph that, but
Yeah. It's not the worst though. So we do get to kill Jace and attack the Oko, and it's not like the Oko. It's not really not that bad, honestly. We
yeah,
do have to make a decision whether we're going to cast the Tarmogoyf and play into like Terminus, but I think it's better to cast the Tarmogoyf because it forces them to draw something specifically next turn and not just write out this Oko.
yeah.
Because we are kind of in the situation where if we don't commit enough to the board, we could just lose to what's going on board. But if we do overcommit, we lose. So we could lose to certain things. But I think this is the kind of situation where we have to be like, oh, we're going to lose to a Terminus. Whatever, it's not a big deal.
I 100% agree. Like, you can't give Oko time to just do its thing.
Totally. And maybe they give us the Astrolabe and they keep the Tarmogoyf, but yeah, that's
okay.
That's fine with us. Cool. So now we get to kill the Oko, and now we just have a decent board.
I don't even think I cast this Brainstorm.
Nope, I wouldn't cast it.
So we're definitely overkilling the Oko.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, because if we don't attack with everything, then
they can keep it alive.
Yep, totally.
So like they get.
I'm actually shocked they still didn't want to trade with the Hooting Mandrills, but I guess that's their choice.
No Terminus is sweet.
Yeah, looking okay.
Oh, and playing the land, letting us know coast is clear.
Yeah, this is good. It's good. I think we play our fetch land and we attack with all our creatures and we don't cast any spells. We don't want to give them a scry.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
And playing against counterbalance with Delver decks can be really weird and it can be kind of scary because a lot of the spells kind of a lot of your spells. But you just kind of want to maximize the chance of making their things awkward. Like if they cast a cantrip here, maybe we just want to like lead off with like a Veil Summer or something and see what's up. And they conceded. Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah, because that was the middle part of that game started to look pretty bad with the Jace and the Oko, but I think we flipping the Delver and navigating our creatures in such a way to make their situation really awkward. That's kind of what like playing against miracles is all about. It's like you want to make their cards awkward and clunky whenever you can.
So there was a question in the chat from probably about halfway through that match. What would you say are some of Rug Delver's best and worst matchups?
So the thing with Delver is that it doesn't have that many amazing matchups these days, but it doesn't have that many bad matchups either. It's really kind of living towards the middle, but I think it's a lot of the matchups are just like kind of just on the favorable side, and that's exactly where I like to be as a Magic player. I would say like I don't love playing against lands. You have more tools now, so that matchup's a lot better, but their game plan is really scary. I don't. Eldrazi is kind of variance heavy. I don't love playing against Eldrazi. It's okay depending on how it goes. If they have Chalice and I have Tarmogoyf and like they have Thought Knight, like all the cards line up kind of weirdly. This hand looks.
This is fine.
Yeah, right. This is fine. It's a little awkward, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's awkward if our opponent like snap wastelands us turn 1 in the face of Delver.
Yeah,
but otherwise it's
definitely.
Okay. Trop.
What else? I like Tropio, yes. Because then if we draw a wasteland, we still get to play Tarmogoyf. which I'd rather play than Arcanist because we don't have a cantrip. What are the matchups don't I love playing against? I guess the 4-color Uro decks can be kind of awkward, but then they are getting clunkier as time goes on, and I think that's okay. I think you could still kind of go. I think Oko Delver is pretty good right here. Oh, spell stand, nice.
Yeah, super happy about that draw.
Yep, totally agreed. So now if we ever draw a land, we have another threat. If we also have 3 pieces of disruption, which is really good.
Yeah, this is one of those matches where like a Delver might just go all the way.
Yeah.
Yep, you get that because I would rather hold up Spell Snare on your turn.
Agreed.
Legacy is indeed the Oko format right now. It is one of the most defining cards of the format.
Yeah, and it's the only format I'll play it. I'm not even putting Oko in my cubes. I'm done with Oko. I hope Oko's good. I don't think it's too powerful for Legacy, but at the same time, it's just not an extremely fun play pattern over and over again.
Yep, that's where I'm at as well. I begrudgingly admit that I don't think it needs to be banned. I might enjoy games more if it was, but oh man, play a Stoneforge Mystic into my Spell Snare.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So this is awkward because we don't know if we're drawing a land, but so if we force this,
we're probably forcing pitching our Oko, which we can't really cast anyway in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think I probably forced that removing Oko.
If I knew we had a land, I would just 100% let that go. But
Agreed.
We don't have that luxury.
Yep. Okay, not bad. So I kind of like casting Tarmogoyf because if they have Snapcaster made for Sword Splashes, you still have Daze.
Yep.
And the worst case is they have Ice Fang Coatl, but they're still actually short on Snow Permanents. So. And if, of course, if they just Terminus us, whatever, that's bad. But
yeah, it's not even super bad that we have Trop here. Obviously we can't cast one of our threats, but we have a lot on board.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's grow that Tarmogoyf.
Oh yeah. That's interesting.
That is very interesting.
So if we
it's 5 cards to escape. Okay.
So if they had a fetch land next turn, they could do it. But let's see. We still put a creature in the graveyard. They don't gain the 3 life. They might just go extra land off Uro into land next turn, and we can't Daze anyway. I think I like dazing here.
I do too. The Daze also just makes it so that they're on a 2-turn clock. So if we draw another Force of Will or something to keep this from resolving.
Yep, totally.
We represent lethal.
Yep, we also get to do that through other weird sequences where we draw Volcanic into Lightning Bolt because we play Dreaded Arcanist and we bolt in the next turn. And that should be exactly lethal, I think.
All right. I think we're pondering looking for Force.
Yeah, that'd be the first sorcery as well, right? So
yeah.
I honestly those cards are pretty good.
Wasteland's very good. That will stop them from getting the Uro into play.
Yeah, if we put Mandrills on bottom, then Daze, then Wasteland, we Wasteland them, we attack them for 7, put them to 5, then next turn we have Daze Spell Snare. This looks good. And this is what I was talking about. I think the Uro matchup is difficult, but these decks are clunky. We are abusing the clunky aspect of that deck right now.
Yeah, and there was also no guarantee that they had another green source in hand to actually put the Uro back into play. Escaping this costs green, blue, which is super mana intensive.
Yeah, totally.
And those decks also play a good number of basic lands, so
yeah,
things get weird sometimes.
Yeah, and we can guess that they don't have Force Will in hand because they didn't protect any of their cards. We kind of took cards and they haven't protected them. I also don't think they have a sword supply shares because I think last one they would have just sword supply shares instead of Uro because it's a little bit better for them. But even if they do, we're still like in a fine situation.
Kinda MTG, thank you very much for continuing your support of the channel. Very much appreciated. And Cliffy, welcome. We're doing blue things. Turns out it's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I mean, I love that you're using your mana for that. It does open up Swords to Plowshares, but if they Swords to Plowshares Goyf, they're at 1.
Okay, yeah. This is just where we're at. We do get the Daisy Uro if that's their follow-up. We also have Hooting Mandrills on the following turn. Now we have Spell Snare Daze. We just gotta hope it's good enough here.
And now they can't fetch.
Yep,
which is pretty huge.
And they can't Force Will. So if they like are relying on the Uro.
Another thing I just want to point out to chat is that our margins have been relatively slim on a lot of these games. I'm very lucky that I have someone here to talk me through a lot of these things. I feel like I would have played this league okay, but since our margins were so slim, I'm going to just return a land here. I think it's just free.
Yep, float the mana return. Yep, and I don't think we can lose. It'd have to be something. They'd have to go land. So it's Splash Chef. Like, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I agree. The margins are really slim with a lot of Delver decks these days. Like, you really need to make these decisions very carefully, and you need to know kind of what you're doing and how you're gonna like execute your game plan in order to get them dead.
All right. Was it
basically the
same. No, there's also the Aether Gust.
Yep.
All right. So before we cut 4 Wasteland, 2 Days, 1 Chain Lightning, and 1 Spell Pierce. Was that the last one?
No, we could have Mandrill last time.
That's right. Thank you.
So this might be a little different. It's because they are showing us Uro, they might maybe Daze it a little bit better because now they're relying on 3-drops a little bit more.
Okay.
So maybe we want to like trim a Lightning Bolt because now they're also gaining more life, so Lightning Bolt gets a little bit worse.
Okay, that
so
makes
we kind of want
to
just
me.
Yeah.
So like flip flop something like this.
Yeah. So we have a couple free ofs here, which is pretty good. Like we don't want to draw 2 bolts ever. I don't think we ever want to draw 2 Dazes, but drawing it at just the right time could be really good. So this looks good to me.
So I don't think so, but I just want to discuss this. Do we bring in Surgical Extraction to like permanently answer Okos?
So I've tried it a lot. Sometimes it feels necessary, sometimes it doesn't. The problem is it's kind of horrendous against them when they don't have Uro, and they play a lot of cards that matter that Surgical does nothing against. And while Uro can just easily take over a game by itself, I think we have to try to attack it with Red Blasts and Dazes and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. And Grafdigger's Cage does not stop Uro from entering because you cast it, it goes to the stack, and it would enter from the... No, it does stop it. It stops the other side of it. They just can't cast it in the first place.
The awkward part about Grafdigger's Cage is they play Oko, so if their game plan is to get an Uro going eventually, they can just Oko the cage, which isn't like super reliable. I think it's tough. I don't know when I'm losing to Uro decks and it looks really bad. I kind of want Graveyard Hate, but this hand's okay.
I think this is kind of one of those reluctant keeps where like you're really hoping on some stuff from the top to matter, but like with multiple answers to like Uro, Oko, I don't think I can pitch this.
Yep, I agree. We have a threat. It's a slow threat, but hopefully we just find a brainstorm off top. But
yeah, a lot of times when Delver wins on those slim margins, it is almost like beautiful, right? Like you just like used your resources, you allocated them properly, and you win with like no cards in hand hitting your opponent for exact lethal. It does feel good.
Yep, totally. Look, sometimes we're lucky. So that was the perfect draw.
Yeah.
We definitely just start on a fetch, and then next turn we're probably gonna go. Hopefully we don't have to red blast, and then next turn we'll probably go Tropical Island, pass. Then we'll brainstorm into this turn, probably get rid of a lightning bolt.
Yeah, looking great.
Totally agreed.
Alpha Kavu.
We have two bad cards in our hand.
Alpha Kavu. I don't think Veil of Summer is a ban-worthy card by Legacy standards. It's like really a kick in the teeth when you're playing certain decks, but there's so many decks that just like completely ignore Veil of Summer that
Agreed.
I don't think that's a card that even makes the discussion of being ban-worthy right now. That's a lot of land.
Yeah, I think we might actually just be okay putting back 2 lands then. And just keeping the lightning bolt. It might just be. It's probably going to be better this game, I think.
I agree.
I think if Oko gets banned, it definitely becomes more of a discussion. Okay, I think it's a discussion anyway. I think all the Delver decks are solid. They're all fine. I don't think Rug is far and away better than all the other choices. That's a good draw. I'd probably just play Oof here. It's like technically our worst creature. We don't really care if it dies.
Yep.
We get to hold up Red Blast, Daze, Force Will. If it does, like, we don't want to tap out for Hooting Mandrels because we want to hold a Red Blast. So.
Yeah, like this, I wouldn't even fight to protect this card. Like, they point a removal spell at it, it snap resolves. I do not care.
It's most certainly one of the worst cards in our deck. There's a weird spot. We're going to 2-for-1 ourselves if we bolt it, but if we Reb, we're kind of opening the door for things.
We still have Aether Gust and Daze and Force.
Yeah.
So I kind of like rebbing.
I think it's fine. So one of the arguments for Lightning Bolting as well is that Lightning Bolt is arguably one of our worst cards in the matchup. So I guess our 2 worst cards are probably like this Oof and the Lightning Bolt, right? They just like do the smallest amount of things. And this Ice Fang Quaddle is just threatening to trade with either of them. And that might just be okay. They do draw a card. It's not beautiful, but
sure.
We are trading away our worst card for something.
Yeah. All right. Let's let it happen.
And yeah. And Quaddle is one of their better cards too because it trades with everything. Would I make any changes? No, not really. There are a lot of small things you can change. A lot of numbers. More Okos, less Tarmogoyfs, less Mandrels, more Preordains. That kind of stuff. But I personally wouldn't be looking to change anything. But you could make a lot of different adjustments.
Jerry, thank you very much for your continued support as well, friend. Hope you're enjoying the content. This is some really high-level Legacy. I hope you all are enjoying this back and forth. I'm finding it very useful.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun too, so this is great.
And I know from your end, like, just listening to how other people think about the deck is often very useful. And like, I know there have been times where like I've streamed as Anurag or something like that, and just coming from a different perspective, I just did something just totally off the wall that he never would have thought of because it was like just out of his wheelhouse of behavior.
Yeah. Do we have to fetch? Did we? No, we fetched last time. I'll go. Okay.
So if we bolt and then play Tarmogoyf, we're dropping Reb.
I think I would just attack. Because if Oof dies, we don't really care. And if it doesn't, we can just still play Tarmogoyf and hold up Red Blast, Lightning Bolt, all of our cards.
Yeah, and if they want to trade, they have to fetch another snow-covered land with Prismatic Vista.
Yeah.
Which means their future Brainstorms and Ponders are slightly worse.
Yeah, definitely. We just like care so little about this Oof. We just want them to trade with it. It just doesn't matter. This is the worst card on this board.
Yeah, so like notice they don't even want to accept the trade here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd probably just play Tarmogoyf. I mean, it's a little awkward in the face of Terminus.
But like we would fight over that anyway.
I think so, yeah.
How is Legacy these days? I think Legacy is great. I think there's a lot of innovation in the format right now. There's a lot of rising stars. I think it's a great time if you're good at deck building and refining deck lists. I think a lot of people are still complaining about the format, but I love it right now.
We're gonna get Dead of Winter.
So that does count Ice Fang Coatl. So that is -4, -4.
So if we kill the Coatl, we not only buff our Tarmogoyf, but we make the Coatl not survive. Because the Tarmogoyf would become a 4/5, and then they can't fetch to kill a Tarmogoyf with Dead of Winter. Right?
Okay, hold on. Why? Oh, I see. Because we've changed. Yeah. Okay. So
we remove one of their snow permanents and add one to our Tarmogoyf. So it's essentially a 2-point swing.
Yep.
And this Dead of Winter can only do 4 points if their Coatl is dead. So
it also just gives us a chance to get this card out of our hand, which is something we've been like talking about for a few turns.
we're essentially using one of our worst cards to counter Dead of Winter, which is one of their.
Yeah, this is very strong. And if they just counterspell, like we get the daze here too, which will be disgusting.
Yeah.
Ooh, Forest. Oh man, another Ice Fang, which would get dazed.
That would be very, very good for us.
Yeah, your Brainstorm is fine.
Yeah, this is a really good sequence for us. This is another thing about the Uro decks. As I was talking about earlier, they're getting clunkier. They're moving away from Terminus, which needs some setup but only costs 1 mana, towards 3 mana cards like Dead of Winter, and that makes cards like Spell Pierce and Daze a lot better than they used to be. So, I think all the Delver decks are doing all right now.
All right, 4/5 Tarmogoyf, 4 things. We're good to let this resolve.
Love it. We basically had their best card trade with our 2 worst cards.
And now our graveyard is also relatively huge.
Yeah, totally.
So, easy part of the turn. Turn Tarmogoyf
Yep.
sideways.
Yep, totally agreed. And I think we're probably going to play Hooting Mandrels. Just now we have 2 4-power threats and a ton of disruption to back it up.
So how are we paying for Hooting Mandrels? Like, we're obviously going to leave up Red Elemental Blast, so we could pay 3 for it. Then there's the question.
I think we want to leave up everything, so I think we just double our whole graveyard, because, let me see, they have Sorcery, Creature, Instant Land. They have everything. So it gets a little awkward in the face of Uro, but we don't want Uro to resolve anyway, so we're going to be Red Blasting that.
Okay.
So I think we just paid the max. Now we're holding up Red Blast, Aether Gust, and Force of Will / Daze. So...
Yeah, and now that we know our opponent is, like, probably not doing the Terminus plan since they're doing the Dead of Winter plan.
Yeah.
As long as we have this force in hand, we're probably not getting X for 1.
I think we rev that, hit for 8. And
Rev
then...
hit for that, force it the following turn, or Aether Gust it or something.
Gust it the following turn, yeah. And then that'll end the game. We could also technically Gust here, but I think I
like saving the Gust.
Yeah.
Like, there's some temptation to save it because, like, Aether Gust costs more mana.
Yeah. What do they have here? Veil somewhere?
They have Veil, so we...
I think we Gust the Veil. So we can Gust the Veil or we can Gust the Uro. I don't think we want to Force, because Force is going to be like our backup card here. Do we care about them drawing Veil next turn?
We do have the Force of Will.
So let me think about this, because they didn't play land this turn. So if we Gust the Veil to the top and they don't play land this turn, we can think that they might not have a land on the following turn, like unless they're holding it, which I doubt they would.
Okay.
And if that's the case, then we want them to draw the Veil, because then they're going to be incentivized to cast the Uro without Veil backup. The worst case scenario is if they have a land, then they can cast Uro with Veil backup, and we can no longer attack into them. But I think, but if we cast Aether Gust on Uro, they get to draw a card of Veil.
Yeah.
So I think I like gusting the Veil and hoping they don't have, because they might not even want to draw it. I mean, if they don't have another piece of disruption here, if they don't have another land, they don't want to find this Veil Summer.
And this also plays towards us drawing one more land in like one of our worst draw scenarios where we can like hardcast Force and then like maybe get them with Daze, because if they're going to Veil plus Uro, it costs a crap ton of mana. I'm also going to be honest with you. I did not realize that Aether Gust also hit spells on the stack.
So the first time Noah Walker suggested it to me, I was like, okay, so Flusterstorm is technically a pretty bad situation.
Targeting our Reb.
Yeah, let's see what this is going to end up doing. We might end up letting the Uro resolve this turn then. Because, so what are they doing? Are they all targeting Reb?
They're all targeting the Reb. So
if we let the Gust go on top. So if we counter the Uro now, they're going to get to cast Uro next turn, and resolve it unless we draw out of it. And the problem with that is that we can't really attack through it. So if we let it resolve now, we let them gain 3 life, but then we still hit them for 8, and then we still force it on the following turn and kill them.
So the Aether Gust is still going to resolve and put the Veil of Summer on top, right?
Yes.
So we're playing towards them not having another green.
Yeah, well, they might choose to put the Veil on bottom.
Okay, that's true. All right, let it resolve.
Yep.
All right.
I think this is kind of like we're a little bit caught between rock and hard place. We could also Daze the Uro and then hope to draw a blue card. That's another option.
Oh, man.
That doesn't change. None of this changes. We can wait for the Flusterstorm and everything to resolve and then figure that out.
I definitely don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't either. It is getting use of one of our worst cards, but again, it's bad. It's very bad if we, let the Gust resolve and see what they do with Veil. We don't want to give them more information.
Okay.
Because they get the choice.
Veil of Summer goes to the bottom.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we have to decide if we're okay. It's tough. It is risky, right? If we Daze this and don't draw a blue card, Uro's going to go on the stack and resolve next time.
Well, it's blue card or land, right?
No, not if we Daze.
Oh, shoot. Oh, okay.
They're probably not going to have access to Veil Summer, and they have this one black land. They didn't play a land, so they'd have to have a land on top and more cards that matter. I'm inclined to let this resolve.
I think this is really a tough decision.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. It's like kind of unfortunate that the Uro gives them another draw towards hitting lands.
Yeah,
and like having mana up to fight, but like we'll see how it goes.
I think if they so it splashes us, we're probably gonna Daze that, and then hope to draw a blue card. I think that forces our hand.
I do as well. Yep.
Yeah. We can also just draw Rebs. We have a lot of outs here.
Sweet.
But, good.
Sweet.
So we know they have Flusterstorm, so we want to play the land just in case, and we're gonna attack and hope that we can get this going.
Good God, this game was hard. Like no matter what way this ends up breaking,
yeah,
that was a very complicated turn of Magic.
Most certainly, and we had a couple complicated ones leading up to it too. That Iceman Quaddle play was really clutch and not entirely obvious.
So Lord Darkview in chat has brought up a really good point. So a couple turns ago, we definitely dealt away most of our graveyard for Hooting Mandrels reasons. So it's possible that this escape will end up changing our clock depending on what our opponent eats.
So what do we have? We have all instants in our graveyard.
Yeah.
And
so like I don't know.
What did they leave?
Uh,
Instant sorcery. Yeah, we don't really have a choice here. So if we draw land, if they don't have a way to stop this, which they'd have to have Force Will, I guess. Or like another Sword Splash has.
Alright, so a Lightning Bolt is lethal. This is a sorcery, right? So...
Yeah. Land, if they have nothing, land, Lightning Bolt are both lethal. We have a lot of cantrip outs.
Oh, wow, opponent just conceded there?
We got it.
I'll definitely take that, but they were not
let's see what we found.
Dead.
Yeah. So it's possible that their hand was very bad.
Yeah.
Like, they just had nothing, and then they didn't have a fetch land, because they still needed a fetch land to go Uro next turn. That being said, they weren't dead, so that concession was a little bit premature. But wow, that was a crazy game.
Oh, did we still have lethal there? I thought we were one short.
No, we didn't have lethal. We didn't have lethal. I might have just misspoke. We did, right? Because Uro went to the graveyard and we had 7. Yeah, that's true.
It's when Uro was on the stack that it looks like we didn't have lethal. Okay,
yep,
got it. This is a Delver hand. Like, just
I love it.
Good stuff.
I would never mulligan his hand in a million years.
All right.
Yeah, probably the same matchup. Now, if we wanted to play, I would have Dave's that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Volk with our first fetch.
Yep, like it.
There's a lot of Astrolabe mush today. This is way more than I'm usually seeing.
Oh, definitely.
Me?
That's a pretty easy Dave, I would think.
I
could be
appreciate...
Doomsday. Does Doomsday usually play him?
No.
Not really. Okay.
I definitely appreciate our opponent going and playing him to Turok in this Veil of Summer world. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
Punish them when they don't have it.
Yeah, it's respect. I don't think we want to preordain.
I don't think so either.
We're still a little concerned with another him. We'd really like to draw a Brainstorm, but...
Yeah, like this Lightning Bolt and the second Volcanic Island, I would love to get rid of based on current board. Like, things might change a little bit, but...
We also might have made a tiny... Yeah, this is a good draw. We might have made a tiny misstep. We probably should have played the Polluted Delta because we wanted to scry on the Delta.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Is Ice Fang Coatl? Hello.
I hope so. Probably
okay, well. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so now we just, like, preordain and just try to find something else. That's something else.
That's good. I don't think we want the secondary Spell Snare. Like, it's a blue card which pitches to our forces, but...
Yeah, I agree. It's not very good. We're going to be holding up Spell Snare plus force one of the forces, and that we're going to hope that's enough. I guess we play Volcanic.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to shuffle... Like, we're gonna have to shuffle next turn, but if we don't have to this turn, we might as well not.
Yeah. And it's also possible that if we weren't sure about the Spell Snare, we could have played Polluted Delta this turn, leaving the Spell Snare on top, but that's sort of awkward.
More Uro stuff.
I think that one's just resolving.
Yeah, yep. I don't think they have a land. So maybe they'll draw one off Uro. Yep.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think they had one. Yep. It's not too bad.
I think I'm just goifing and...
Yeah, and holding a Spell Snare. Yeah, I like it.
Since we've had so many exchanges already, Tarmogoyf's pretty big.
Yeah.
Huh.
I guess we just have to like be okay with that, right? Like we don't have any easy way to disrupt it. We'd have to force
Yeah,
will, which means Oro is resolving next turn.
Yeah, it's not like it's not an exchange I'm happy with, but
Yeah.
I think that's just the way it is. I'm too afraid of like Uro and Oko hitting play.
Yep, definitely.
So if you have a feeling this is gonna be a tropical island,
Yep. See
and
where we end up here. Oh, what's this?
oh, Jace.
No, I think
Tap
they just
wrong?
tapped incorrectly.
Tap wrong.
Yeah.
What are we pitching? The snare?
Snail looks pretty bad. Force negation is a nice little bit of insurance against Okos. Snail is not looking very good here.
Yeah, like I feel like at this point, if they had a hymn, they probably would have like waited to like cast that hymn, clear out some of our hand, and then cast the Uro the second time.
Yeah. They could be playing around Spell Snare and have like Snapcaster Mage in hand. Oh, that's a very bad draw.
Rough.
I think we have to ponder, unfortunately. This is tough. This is a really bad situation.
Yeah.
Not getting better.
Yikes. And I have to play that to hold up Force of Negation for Oko.
Yep.
And if I brainstorm anyway, I'm probably throwing back Bolt Chain Lightning.
Yep.
This is a rough spot.
Yeah, that's one of the difficult parts of the matchup. They sometimes are, if we don't have an aggressive start, or they can disrupt our aggressive start, it can be really clunky. Okay, Spell Snare would have been decent there. But that's okay.
All right.
All right, this is looking bad. We need to find an Oko, I think. I guess Dreadnought Arcanist could also do some work.
Is there any world where I need to bolt end of turn for like mana efficiency?
I don't think so.
Yikes.
Yeah. I don't know if we can really get out of this one. I guess we just pass. We can't really do anything. We could consider Chain Lightning one of them, but no, that makes it Oro better because then they can cast Oro.
Oh god, yeah. All right.
Rock and hard plays here.
Yeah, this is a bad time.
I think against this version of the deck with abrupt decays and hymns, we're going to be a lot better post board once we have Veil Summer. But if that Uro goes on to stack and we have no way to stop it, I think we're out of it.
Yeah, now our Chain Lightning is super awkward because
yeah,
our opponent can get red. All right.
Yeah, we probably have like one or two more draw steps here, but them hitting a land, they can't Uro yet. I think it starts with a Brainstorm probably. We need to find a Brainstorm off top.
Yeah. Oko off the top is.
Yeah, that's definitely the card we're looking for. Yeah.
Shoot. I guess.
So they don't have a fetch land.
I guess we're playing this because if we draw a Brainstorm, we already have things that we want to be putting back.
Yeah, that's fine, and it is our shuffle if we draw that.
So the life totals are changing very slowly, but in terms of like an advantage meter, our opponent is leagues ahead. Like they're at 19 on turn 8. With one big giant? Yeah, Elder Giant.
Elder Giant. It's an old boy.
Yeah, I think we get one more draw before we're effectively dead. I still don't know that we concede, but our opponent is luckily just drawing lands.
Yeah, but the fetch land is probably the nail in the coffin because now they get to Uro.
We can bolt and Chain Lightning Uro.
That is true. That is true. if we draw something like fabulously good and they have nothing, that could be a route.
Yeah, let's just ignore the fact that they're gonna have 4 cards in hand.
Yeah, and be a 21.
The Strix damage is also starting to accumulate.
Definitely.
Like, we're at 11. We're gonna be on about a 5-turn clock after factoring in the polluted delta.
Yeah, I guess we do start with what Gnaw is suggesting in chat. We just chain lightning the Oro, see if they send it back at us. Maybe we'll get a little bit of value that way.
So the other thing is we could just start. Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind. I see what you're saying. So I should maybe even play this polluted delta then. Or like,
because we don't have enough.
No, I can't red, because just
Yeah.
due to the limitation of my own deck.
Yeah. They're probably not going to send it back at us, but yeah. Okay, and then we just bolt it and see what happens here.
All right. Well, I guess we just are bolting yet again. Like we could force of negation that, but that feels like it just leaves me super loose.
Yeah, because we technically could just draw Oko and then have force negation back up for their Oko, not for like a piece of disruption. Yeah, this is. I think we have to bolt it. Bolt's still our worst card in this matchup. So.
Oh, all right. Fire away! All right, we got it.
All right. Well, at least we threw 100 cards away to kill a single card that costs nothing for them. So, but that's okay. We're good.
Am I playing this Delta at this point?
Yeah.
It lets me hardcast the Force of Negation. This Daze is pretty dead. All right.
God.
Bird Parade.
Yeah, I guess we have to force negation that. Maybe they'll force back and we get the Daze and then we draw Oko.
Yeah, like there are worlds.
Yeah.
But they're pretty slim. And like double fetching here is actually pretty actively bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Rough.
Okay. I think we had enough.
I agree.
I do like seeing Drowned Lock though, to go along with what's it called? Above Decay, because Veil Summon is good against that. So
yeah. So like the problem here is that like every turn that the game drags on is just them getting closer to the next Uro cast, which like we just aren't beating. Okay, I feel like we're gonna end up sideboarding pretty similarly.
Yeah, I think so.
Blazing Volley. You stay over there.
Yeah, it's just like a different flavor of the snow decks. So like different basics. It pretty much is the same thing though. We might still want the 3-day 3 lightning bolt split.
And we took the chain out before, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then we took out a mandrel since we were bringing in like library and oof.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems good.
Yeah, Jax. When we got to that last turn there, even if we like have running best draws, it's very possible that we just don't get out of it. This seems fine to me.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think we're just pondering on turn 1, just try to set up for the rest of the game.
Agreed. We would love to find like Sylvan Library, Veil Summer, Daze would be fine. Interesting.
That's awkward. Not bad.
Yeah.
But it's like not our highest percentile draws.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is interesting. So we could, I think we have a couple of decisions we could make here. We could choose to either keep the Force of Negation and the Ponder and shuffle away the land, because we want to have like a higher density of interaction and less land, but that's gonna, when we're using force negation, we're gonna like lose
Our answer
equity.
to
Yeah, we're
Oko
gonna.
or
Yeah, yeah, and like we're gonna lose like the card fight because it is gonna have more cards because we're gonna rely on force negation. The other thing we could do is keep ponder land, and then we could either top the force negation and then decide if we're gonna play a fetch or a non-fetch land next turn to decide if we want to keep the force negation. So then we'll basically get everything. Force negation is not the worst because we can just cast it for 3.
Yeah.
Like if we pass with Aether Gust, Pyroblast, force negation up, that's not too bad. So I think that sounds good to me. I don't know what you're thinking on that front.
All right. Force negation bottom. Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think that gives us the greatest degree of flexibility.
Yep.
I also think it's like not insane to just shuffle that.
Yeah, it's not that good here. Yeah, it's probably better to like just shuffle it away, honestly. I don't think we really need it.
Yeah, so I think we're just slamming the Tarmogoyf into this board.
Yep, agreed.
Because we can't really beat a him that gets pointed at our face in this next turn cycle without pondering, and I think the ponder is slightly awkward.
Yeah, yeah. I think we just want to play our threats. Like maybe they'll him, maybe they'll decay, maybe they'll Baleful Strix, but you know, even if they Baleful Strix, we can still just like bolt it and kind of see where we go from there.
All right.
Sure.
So now we need a threat or a brainstorm. Either would be great.
Yeah, preferably both. So
yeah.
I guess we ponder.
Yeah, we're pondering off the trop, I think.
Yeah. Yep. It's got on really pretty.
I think that's.
Go ahead. Yeah, the ponder is like fine. We kind of like do want that, but I think we can do better.
Yeah, like shuffling here gives us the opportunity to spike a 2-drop card and play it this turn.
Yeah, Veil's a decent draw in the future here.
Do you have music going on in the background?
I do not. People outside play music pretty loudly, but I think they're just dropping by.
Okay.
Yeah, let me mute that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I lived on the 12th floor, and that was coming up all the way up.
The 12th floor?
Holy they must have been playing that pretty loudly.
Yeah, so while we don't have pressure right now, our hand is pretty good at fighting fights.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, against the cards that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, still really want to find a brainstorm here, but... Or an Oko. That's interesting.
Are we casting this yet?
So, let's see. If we cast Oko, we're just going to be dropping down to 1 piece of like interaction.
Yep.
I think we can wait because we're holding up 3 meaningful pieces of interaction at the moment. And if we find a land, we can then hold up Pyroblast and Veil Summer. If we find a different creature, then we could just play the creature first and still hold up our interaction. So I think we're okay. We still just want to brainstorm more than anything, basically.
Yeah, shuffling away these lightning bolts would be so good.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So it's not that good against Oko because Oko will threat it. It's the same thing from last match where our lightning bolts are pretty bad, and this does even though we're 2-4ing ourselves, we do get to trade our lightning bolt for something.
I kind of want to let this resolve and bolt at end of turn. It also puts an artifact into the graveyard for Tarmogoyf reasons if we draw another one of those.
That seems fine. In terms of like card exchange, it's not the best, but our game plan is going to rely on his Oko a little bit. So they might also rely on an Abrupt Decay to enter the Oko, to which we have Veilsummer. So that could be good. Oh, well, we found the Brainstorm. We have a lot of choices here.
Speaking of hard turns of Magic.
Yeah. So because we don't like the Lightning Bolt, we could always just Brainstorm, get rid of the Lightning Bolt, and that will give us a lot more information how we're going to set up our other turns. We could also, the problem with casting Oko is it depends on how they're going to respect our cards. If we cast Oko and then they rely on Abrupt Decay, and we Veil some of the Abrupt Decay, that's a really good exchange for us. But if they respect our Veilsummer and just untap with like Abrupt Decay plus John and Block, that might be a lot worse. And if we do have to like counter a Snapcaster Mage, we do kind of want an extra land for that.
So I hate making a move here because our opponent has 2 open mana this turn.
Yeah.
Like if they just draw a card and pass the turn, like making a move next turn is worse.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think of fetch Valk and cast Oko with Veil open?
So I think in terms of like us not having to get another tropical island, that is better for us. But the problem is, one, we're telegraphing Veilsummer.
Don't they know about our Veil of Summer for some reason? No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, we haven't had Delver. They haven't seen our hand.
Okay.
And the other thing is that does make our Brainstorm a little worse. This might be a moot point because we're going to have to. I suspect we're going to have to Veilsummer or Pyroblast in the following turn anyway. No, I guess an advantage of not fetching is if we do have to cast Pyroblast as opposed to Veil, maybe we prefer to do that.
Sure. It's going to be kind of awkward if we end up with triple trop, but
definitely
that's okay.
That's not beautiful for us, but
all right.
They're probably just planning on Abrupt Decay, so the Veilsummer could be pretty good here. Or Pyroblast, I guess. Sure. There was nothing we could really. None of our disruption really fought that anyway. So.
I don't think we brainstormed to try to find a free piece of counter magic here.
I don't think so. I think we'd be opening ourselves up to a little bit too much. It is unfortunate, but it's still just like if we find another Oko, then we have the ability to make a 3/3 right away. They did just 1-for-1 with us, which is part of their game plan, but.
I would like to interact with whatever this is going to be. Actually, maybe that's not true.
I think our Pyroblast is a little bit too valuable, and we have the Gust interaction where we can put it on top. Yep. So I think we're okay with this.
So this is now the second, like, mini 2-for-1 sort of situation that has occurred in our opponent's favor.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're starting to slip behind. Like, we have the same number of cards as our opponent, but they're definitely winning the value exchange. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So again, we could just go for we could just slam it, which isn't bad. I think for the same reasons it was okay last turn, it's probably okay this turn.
Yeah, like they have 3 mana open.
Yeah.
And like this time around, we actually get to.
Fuck. Yeah, sure. That's okay. We still get a 3/3 out of it.
Yeah.
So now we finally made the first 2-for-1 in our direction. So we're kind of getting back into it a little bit.
And I like that we're not just like Stone Cold dead to this Uro.
Yeah.
That's very important on board.
Definitely.
issue is our opponent has 11 cards in graveyard, now 5 cards in graveyard. So, like, this is happening twice. I think we're blasting it the first time.
I agree.
I'm actually also very happy that we do get to get Volcanic Island with this fetch land. So we have
definitely.
a more equitable split. As a generic statement, thank you to everyone who is following. I'm not keeping up with that window right now because things are complicated, but your support is very much appreciated.
That was a good draw, honestly.
That was a very good draw.
So we get to hit for 3. We get to play Mandrills. We can gust the Uro, which plays around Veil, and if they have counter magic for it, we'll be able to. Yeah, we can Veil, Gust, and Mandrills this turn. So I think that was probably one of the better draws in our deck.
Okay. So graveyards are going to be relatively light. I probably want to leave an Oko in there.
Yeah, definitely leave Oko. We probably want to leave Pyroblast if we can over Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, I guess this land is getting out of there. And Lightning Bolt is getting out.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Definitely okay with our spot. It's definitely going to be a nail biter, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
We're probably brainstorming to try to find Force of Will here.
So let's see things we can do. We can gust our Mandrills. I don't think that's very good. Yeah, I think we should brainstorm.
Oh, thank you.
Not
thank you.
Worst. I like it.
All right. So we're probably putting Lightning Bolt 2 down and like Tarmogoyf on top.
Yep, because now we get to hold up Gust and Veil, and we still kind of have to hope they don't have much here, but like if they have Veil somewhere, that's pretty bad. But we do have Gust. We can Gust that on top. I think we have to try to Gust.
Gust our Mandrills to the top.
Gust the
Veil Summer, right? Sorry, I'm not thinking about that. Doing that.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
it's a bit weird.
Because like so many of these like uncommon cycles have just been to creatures.
Yeah, totally.
Of those colors.
Yeah. The whole M20 cycle was kind of deranged, honestly. And we're a little bit cold to Uro, but we might be okay. All right. See what they have here. Under where do they put the Veil? Top. So they're going to draw the Veil.
So they probably have uncounterable Uro next turn. We're drawing Tarmogoyf.
Okay, this isn't too bad, but we have Tarmogoyf.
We have Tarmogoyf followed by Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
So opponent's at 8. Opponent is going to gain 3, going to 11. We have 9. And we have this Lightning Bolt on top, which might be setting up to trade with Uro plus our Tarmogoyf.
So I think when they cast Uro, we're going to have to Veil Summer to draw the Lightning Bolt, and we're going to have to try to find like Pyroblast or something to like really push it through, or like a second Lightning Bolt.
Okay, so
their Veil Summer doesn't interact with our red cards.
Yeah, this is not what we wanted Veil of Summer to be doing. Like, we don't want this to just be 1 mana, draw a card, and cycle.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it technically does a touch more than that, because, like, our opponent draws a removal spell off Uro.
Yeah. What do they have here?
Just brainstorm.
Sure.
I mean, which is pretty good, but it's going to be sort of awkward because they can't cast some of their best cards with the mana that they left up.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, they can't decay, which would be pretty huge.
Tough situation here. Let's see what they have here.
Oh, no.
Oh, petty theft.
That is that is strong.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so close. Um,
Uh,
this is definitely a rock in the hard place kind of situation. We can attack with the Hooting Mandrills and bolt the Uro. They'll take 1 damage and then cast Uro next turn. That's not very good. We can just cast Tarmogoyf, hold up Spell Snare, Lightning Bolt. If they attack with Uro, technically we do get the clock back in.
We can attempt to trade as well.
Yeah, I think any situation in which we're losing our creatures to their Uro, we're probably not going to win the game. That's my thought here.
Okay.
Like if we have to, sure, like our Tarmogoyf and Hooting Mandrills could double block, but it's so bad if they just like recast the Uro that the following turn, which is possible. Did they play a land drop? I don't think they did.
No.
So they might not have the requisite fetch land to cast the Uro. But yeah, I don't think we're attacking.
Yeah.
I think we
can play
hold back with
towards Red Elemental Blast or Oko off the top as well.
Yep, definitely. Okay, they're going to start by attacking. That makes sense.
All right, no land.
Which means they're on all gas, but yeah, I think we just have to take this and hope to crack back. I don't know if our plays are getting better here.
Yeah. We're also just in danger of dying to Uro plus Brazen Borrower attacks.
The awkward part here is they have Veil Summer in hand, right?
Oh god.
Because they Aether Gusted it to the top.
Yep.
I don't think how are we playing around this Veil?
Bye.
So we snare, they Veil, they draw a card, can't be countered. We draw.
If we snare, it makes an Oko off the top better.
We don't have an Oko anymore. We use 2 of them.
Oh, right. Is 1 in exile from?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we draw. If we snare, I guess it doesn't matter if they have Veil and we have Snare. That's like if we never cast Snare, then like we might not like be super cold to the Veil. If we draw Red Blast, we can still bolt the Strix, Red Blast the Uro, and have some kind of sequence where something happens.
All right.
So I guess we let the Veil Strix resolve, especially because it's going to resolve no matter what, because we can't stop Veil. And we see what we can rip here.
Oh, right. The text is just underneath.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's almost definitely slipped away here.
Yeah.
I think we have to let it resolve and see what the top of our deck can do for us. Yeah, that's not gonna do it.
All right. I think we're dead.
I think we're dead. We fought hard. They had their interaction lined up well with our threats, and that was pretty good. It was tough. We got a little bit slow out of the gates because they disrupted us pretty well. I'm just gonna use the bathroom, so I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. I'll be right back.
Okay, perfect.
assume you're back.
Okay, I'm back.
Whew. That was a slogfest that we ended up on the wrong side of. But what a great game, nevertheless.
Yeah, definitely. We've played against these like Oro, Snow, Oko decks 3 times now, and I would definitely say Bug is a little bit unfavored in that matchup. But we definitely have a lot of game, and the games have been really close. So, yep,
Yep.
looks great. Love it.
Drop turn 1, Delver.
I like it. Hopefully, we get to waste into another Delver or something like that.
Yeah, that's the dream. Like, waste into another Delver. The Ponder is the card to pitch to force a will. And the Delver's naturally flipping, would be.
Oh, yeah.
Opponent is mulliganing to 5 here, it looks like.
Yeah, that might lead me to think it might be more of a combo deck. That's my first inclination every time somebody does something like that.
Mine as well.
And I did talk on the podcast about how when people mulligan, they tend to wasteland you a little bit more and ponders a little better. But we have 2 Delvers here. Our start is very aggressive. I think this is one of those situations where we just play Delver. If they waste us, yeah, it's bad. But
So are you planning on playing in any of the big online events coming up? You playing in the challenge this weekend or anything?
not the challenge. I might go for a hike this weekend and Vial. That's interesting. What do you think we should do here? Like the Vial is pretty important, right?
Yeah. So our opponent has mulliganed really aggressively, and so they might be on a 1-land Vile hand after a multi 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I kind of like attempting to end this game as quickly as possible.
So force pitch ponder, play Delver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. We also have the option. Yeah, we're definitely gonna force this, but we have like in a few turns, even if we draw like 1 land, we could wasteland one of our lands to make our Hooting Mandrills castable and get really aggressive.
That's the kind of stuff I love. Like I play a decent amount of like. Yeah, we will reveal a lightning bolt.
Yeah, hopefully we draw a red source at some point, but I mean, as good as it's gonna get right now.
I am playing this, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because this allows us to do the Hooting Mandrills thing in a turn, which we might want to do. If we draw a red source, can bolt their creature, waste our own land, and then play Hooting Mandrills, that might just be enough pressure to, ignore whatever they're doing. But yeah, how about you? Are you playing any challenges or the super qualifiers?
I went 6-3 in the previous super qualifier, the one from last week with Red Prison.
Nice. Oh, sick.
Yes, I will reveal a Chain Lightning.
It continues to be good, and you were right. They kept the 1 land file, so.
Couldn't swing this one. Probably is this going to be an every week thing now?
I think so. I think there's one next week.
Yeah, I'll probably play this week's then. I'll be on spring break, so I'm going to be doing a decent amount of playing Magic.
Nice, yeah. Good thinking.
Ooh, a Flooded Strand, so we may end up actually like playing against like the Esper Vial deck or a D&T Splash build.
Yeah. Or it could be the, what's it called? The deck we play against today. Cephalid? Or something? Oh, this is blank, like Esper Blank?
It could be a Food Chain build featuring Recruiter of the Guard.
Oh, maybe. Huh, interesting. With Vial, though. This is kind of weird. Does the Esper Vial deck usually play Watchers tomorrow?
No, I don't think it does. opponent is happy to be playing against me, for anyone wondering what I'm typing in chat. Alright, face down card enters the exile zone.
Alright.
And these now have, like, the weird back that's not actually the magic card back.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's kind of weird. Okay. Our draws, while flipping Delver is good, our draws have been pretty bad. I don't know exactly what I'm scared of because I don't know what they're doing. But
I feel like we probably are going to win if we draw a red source.
I agree.
Like,
I think we'll just kill them.
We have a disgusting amount of power in our hand. Now, Food Chain wouldn't play Aether Vial.
Yeah. This is weird.
I mean, that's resolving, yes.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I mean, maybe at some point it'll matter. If we draw a cantrip, sure.
Yeah, I wonder if our opponent has, like...
Ninjutsu? Are they like a ninja of the deep hours? I mean, that is good with Watch of It tomorrow. Okay, that's good.
Alright, yeah, now things are, like, legit interesting as far as, like, what we do this turn.
Yeah, actually, this is really interesting, isn't it?
I'm gonna just attack with the Delver while we figure the other part out.
Yeah, definitely. So while Arcanist is probably the highest upside, because we do just get to cast 2 bolts next turn, even to the Dahlia. The problem is, and maybe this is too much of a maybe this is me being too concerned, but if we fetch Volk, Dreadlord Arcanist, and they wasteland our red source, technically we don't get to cast our lightning bolts. We could just pass and bolt them into turn. Oh man, this is weird.
Yeah, and so the other thing is that whatever we do right now, like 100% resolves.
Yes, definitely.
Like, I don't think we're removing a creature. If we bolt, it's just going to face.
Completely agreed. I guess we have to decide. Yeah, what do you think?
I think we just pass and bolt end of turn, chain lightning our turn, and just try to kill them. It's like it doesn't technically play around Wasteland fully, but if our opponent doesn't know that exact sequence is coming, like maybe they end up tapping a Wasteland.
Yeah, it actually does play around Wasteland too, right? Because we can just Wasteland. Well, I guess kind of, because if we Wasteland, Wasteland on a tropical island. But
yeah, it's a bit messy, but I think this is going to work out.
Yeah, I guess Sword Splashes is a little bit more concerning in this world, where like we don't get to resolve our. Yeah, I think we're good. I don't know what this is. Probably some ephemerate. Okay.
All right.
Whatever they're doing is pretty wacky.
Okay.
I guess that's fine. That doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I've been playing some Modern Horizons Limited, and this is definitely a feature of that format. But
I think we're playing against humans. I feel like Eddie got drunk and posted an ephemerate list on Twitter.
Yeah, that seems very believable. We can't fetch bolt Mandrels, Triboy, because it's Dahlia. Yeah, this is funny. This is wild. We could wasteland our stuff. No, we can't do it in any way. We can never do the line. Yep. So we just kill them.
We have deterministic lethal here because of
even if they had a
Dahlia.
force. Yeah, and they can't even do that. Yep.
Don't even need any more cards.
Yeah, I mean, against a Mulligan to 5 and a pretty aggressive Delver start, we really didn't even need to find that much. Like, we were just looking for a single land the whole game.
So, a lot of times when I'm playing decks like Death and Taxes, the games that I'm actually most scared of Delver are the games where they just, like, play a bunch of creatures and never cast a Brainstorm or Ponder or anything.
Yeah,
you just die.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because the cantrip lines from Delvers are the worst against Death and Taxes because your deck is designed to make their cantrips awkward. Like, Dahlia makes them cost extra mana. Your Wasteland slow them down. Like, you force them to churn and they just can't really get it together. Okay, so
Alright.
we know they have
Yeah,
a couple
so
X1s.
I think this is the list that we're playing against.
Oh, okay. That's yes. That I would guess this is it. Okay. 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 This is pretty wild.
It's very wild. Alright, so
So I guess we definitely want a Braid, Ancient Grudge. Um, Blazing Volley definitely.
yeah. I think these are going to be considerations as well.
Agreed.
So, like, what are we not going to want against this deck? Like, the Pierce is probably pretty bad.
Yep. Force of Negation is technically okay against Vile on turn 1, but I guess it does something against the Ephemerate, but they can just do it at a time where it's inconvenient for us. So,
Yeah,
Force of Negation looks pretty bad.
I think we're going to get got by Ephemerate in a lot of cases where, like, we just can't afford to play around it.
Yeah, totally. But the cool thing about Ephemerate, well, the cool thing about our deck against Ephemerate is we have Hooting Mandrills, so even if they Ephemerate through that, but they're still going to take trample damage. So that could be okay. Daze looks pretty bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, they are a Cavernous Souls deck.
I could see cutting 2 Dazes. You want to, and we'll leave in the Force of Wills just because we're on the draw, and then on the play maybe swap those numbers a little bit.
Yeah,
then,
what do you think about Oof?
So is it just Vile?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems maybe mediocre. And what were the blue cards? It was like Venser, Meddling Mage, Watcher.
Yeah.
And nothing out of the board. I don't think that's enough. Well, we could maybe consider bringing in like a Pyroblast, but it doesn't seem like that's going to help us that much.
I think the Pyroblast is going to be dead a lot of times.
Agreed. Maybe we just want to leave in 3 days.
Hold up, we're at 58 cards right now.
Yeah, bring in a Daze and bring in the Blazing Ball. I think this is probably our best chance. Blazing Ball is just going to maybe do enough. I do like it against the Vile decks. You bounce the Vile, it does buy you time.
So for the people asking about library in chat, we are playing against the Champion of the Parish deck. So like it's very possible on their aggressive starts they are going to pressure our life total very, very, very heavily, and we're not actually going to get that much use out of the library.
Completely agree. This hand isn't aggressive, but it's also not that good, I guess. But it's not that bad.
I lean towards this being a mulligan if our opponent keeps 7, but I don't know for sure. Like this Daze is kind of dead because I really need to brainstorm and fetch away in order to make this hand work.
Yeah.
And like the Wasteland isn't necessarily going to be good if my opponent leads on Ether Vial. Like this is kind of a hand where we have an Abrade and a Brainstorm and then a lot of nothing beyond that. What are your thoughts on this one?
That all makes sense. I think it's a little slow because even if we do get the hit of Vial, we have to abrade it on turn 2. We're not developing. They could just have a creature start that's going to run us over. I think we're better off. We have a lot of good cards in our deck. I think we're better off mulliganing.
These are some cards.
So that's a real hand.
Bottom Daze 2.
Yep, agreed.
Thank you everyone who is following at this time. Very much appreciated. I'm just gonna do a big old reading of followers here after this round, I think, and then we'll do the debrief afterwards.
Seems good.
I think I'm just supposed to play Delta and pass and not expose myself to Wasteland earlier than I need to. This list was a Wasteland list, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that seems fine. Like, we're technically okay getting Wastelanded, but there's no reason to expose it if we don't have to. They'll probably Wasteland us on turn 3 if they have it.
So I feel like our opponent probably has to have something like a Thalia here for this hand to be capable. Like, they didn't lead on any of their, like, 12-ish 1-drops.
Yeah.
So they need to have an impactful turn 2 play. And so just, like, Thalia makes sense to me.
That's
I think we
probably something we have
to daze that.
Yeah, agreed.
Because if we don't and they name Lightning Bolt, like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah,
disaster.
that'd be really bad. Yeah, those are like basically the worst days in the deck, where you have a 2-drop you really want to play and you have to daze on turn 1. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
Now
Pretty
I
good
almost
draw.
feel like we.
I think we have to play a fetch lane more now this turn than before, because we really need to make sure we get the 2 mana. So we're probably going to be fetching up a Volcanic. And fortunately, we don't have to use our fetch land on the future turn, so we can make our brainstorms in the future a little bit better. But
I'm hoping for not Thalia here. That's not Thalia, so that's good.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, this is all right. I wonder what they probably have, like sword splashes and stuff like that. Kind of like just Organist, right?
Yeah, I think we're just jamming.
Plow is not what we're looking for, but they might not do it at the end of turn, which might make the mana a little awkward. It's possible they just have like a lot of creatures in hand too, but they probably kept their hand with like Meddling Mage, Swords of Plowshares. Yeah, here we go.
Oh man, I 100% would have played around days there. I don't know the cards in their hand, but like this card is freaking scary.
Yeah, it's kind of like everything against these Vile decks.
And like I don't think we could have afforded to just preordain that turn with the Vial ticking up. The Vial is
totally agreed.
So dangerous for us.
Yeah, and our preordain next turn is going to be pretty good because we can find like a Braid, whatever. I guess we have to dodge Sanctum Prelate.
That would be a kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if they vial something in response for maximum value.
Okay, nice. Okay, just
wow.
A 2-mana 1/1.
I am so happy with that.
Yeah, you would think that they should just hold that as long as possible, right? It's not a meaningful piece of disruption. I mean, of a meaningful clock.
Preordain off Volcanic Island here.
Seems fine, yeah.
Hello.
Love it. We probably want both of them, and we don't want to fetch, would be my thought.
Yeah, so we'll draw the Bolt this turn, keep the Oko on top of our library in case our opponent has something wonky like Kite Sail Freebooter.
Yeah, I like it. That sounds really good. And then we get to play Volk, and then basically we get to kill their creatures and play Oko. And like every turn of the rest of the game, we get to cast a Bolt and hope Oko goes the distance. And fortunately, our hand is set up to deal with most of the creatures they're going to use to interact with Oko, right? Like Phyrexian Revoker and stuff like that. So, pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they have Revoker. They do not have access to Revoker.
Okay.
I guess one thing we need to keep in mind is that our opponent might have played out that Thalia's Lieutenant so early because of the Ephemerites that are in their deck.
Sure. That's fair, and they held up their 1 mana. I think once we play the Oko, we're going to be kind of forcing the action a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, they're not going to be able to sit back and hang out.
And, like, the cool part is, like, we can remove something this turn if we want. I don't know that we will, based on current board. And then we get to play Oko and hold up a Lightning Bolt as well.
Yep, I love that situation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we just daze. Yeah, we just daze. I'm just thinking if we bolt like the Thalia's Lieutenant now before anything happens, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess the other thing I can think about is like there are worlds where I just hard cast this daze instead of returning a land so that I can Oko plus Lightning Bolt next turn.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty decent because if they put in Thalia, which is unlikely because I think they would have put it in now, but I'm guessing the daze seems pretty decent here. This situation comes up a lot when I play against these Sanctum Prelate decks. our opponent could have just waited one turn, and it would have been horrendous for us. They have a Vial on 2. They just put it up to 3, and they put it into play. Like, we do have the Oko, but theoretically, if it's going to shut us down, they really should just, like, go in on that. It didn't attack?
I do not understand that.
Is there a reason?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at the deck list real quick.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing about any of this stuff having to do with untapped.
No. Watcher. Yeah, no. I
I'm
can't picture
gonna
a
just
reason.
assume that was a misclick.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so I guess we just Oko make a thing. We could Oko make the thing a 3/3. I think that's a lot worse than just making a food. Yeah, this looks good.
And I'm totally fine with having 3 volcanic islands if we need to fetch and bolt because we have 3 lightning bolts in hand.
Yes, absolutely. And looking at their list, they could have like Deputy of Detention as like their disruptive piece, but again, 3 lightning bolts. So, and it's not even a human, so we do get some. We'll probably be able to kill it with lightning bolt at some point.
All right, what do you got? Please not meddling mage on lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think we want to kill one now, then, right?
Yeah.
Which one? The first one, right? Because that's the one that gets the 2 counters.
Yeah.
Okay. I think with them bringing in Deputy of Detention too, if we make it to, and I'm assuming they are, maybe they're not necessarily doing that for sure, but it makes a lot of sense. I think we should consider 1 Pyroblast. It diversifies against Meddling Mage. Maybe it's going to be bad some amount of time, but just an answer to an extra removal spell for occasional creatures could be really meaningful.
Yeah, it's just like so bad against the Watcher for Tomorrows, though.
Oh,
I don't know. It hits Meddling Mage, though, and like Meddling Mage stranding our lightning bolts in hand is rough.
So they moved it up to 3. And they played that to probably attack Oko, so they probably don't have Deputy.
I agree with that as long as this gets sent at Oko.
Yeah,
agreed.
But even if they have Deputy, that's great for us because we just kill it and we get our Oko back.
Yeah, this is a surprisingly long pause here.
Yeah.
I think we're in a very good position.
I agree. Trying to really think of they're attacking Oko, so they don't have Deputy. They could have like Orzhov Pontiff. They probably don't have Sanctum Prelate, but maybe they no. I don't think they do at this point because even if they put it in, Oko kind of checks it. A lot of choices. How do you feel about just making our food a 3/3 and then passing?
That is what I was leaning towards.
Yeah. I do like the idea of killing their Vial, but at the same time...
No, they have 2 cards left, and we have 2
Yep.
removal spells in hand. Like,
Yep.
We might need to point them at both of these creatures at some point, but...
Yeah, for now, we just have a blocker. This forces them to do something, and then we can, interact with them in the way we want. If they just have Ephemerate, like, they're going to have to cast it at some point here. We have double lightning bolt, so that's fine. Maybe they have the Deputy and they're planning on just getting the food. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a decent line from them. What could they be thinking about? The Deputy line, the silent clearing.
It seems like they were thinking about cracking the silent clearing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of reading them as being either on a bad hand or holding something like an Ephemerate that is just awkward on current board.
Or Palace Jailer.
Oh, God, okay.
That would certainly start to get annoying here.
So Vile at 4 is indicative of either Palace Jailer or Venser as either something they have or something that they're playing towards. Both are one-ofs in this list.
Yeah, so let's see which one they have. Palace Jailer certainly starts to get more annoying, but at the same time, they did tick up. Okay, they have Venser. That's the one I'm very okay with. But let's think. If they do have Ephemerate, things might get a little awkward here, right? But we have to cast this lightning bolt basically now.
So I guess this is going at the Thalio's Lieutenant.
Yeah, and then if they Ephemerate it, then we'll have to kill the champion, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh boy. Here we go. Oh,
okay.
Cool.
Nice. That's very good for us.
I'm also like so happy it wasn't Palace Jailer.
Yes, the Palace Jailer would have been so bad for us.
So I guess the question is like, are we getting rid of this champion here too?
I think at some point we're going to, so it doesn't seem bad to do it now. Can I ask if they have Caracas in their deck?
There are 2 Caracas.
Okay, that is concerning. I kind of like just killing the champion, though.
I feel like pressing our advantage as hard as we can, given that the last card in our hand is a land.
Yeah. Very interesting game.
Yeah. I won't necessarily say in bad shape if opponent has Caracas in the next 2 or 3 turns, but things will get very awkward for us.
Definitely. Hopefully we can find what's it called? An Abrade, an Ancient Grudge, something like that to kill the Vile to like mitigate that.
Well, if we draw another removal spell, we can just like end the Venser in response to a Caracas activation.
And then they're just casting their creatures au natural, which is good for us.
Yeah. Arcanist, looking so good as a draw.
Yeah, totally. So I guess any of our creatures are pretty good here, though. Once we get to start attacking and we're not just like treading water here, it'll look pretty good.
I think most of our draws are pretty good on average.
Agreed.
That is a super awkward meddling mage.
Yeah. I don't even know what they named. Delver?
I think Delver is probably the wrong name.
I think so too. I think Tarmogoyf, Arcanist, Hooting, Brainstorm Ponder. I would prefer to name any of those, I think. Okay. Nice.
Great.
This is good. We're just a couple steps away from like really pulling ahead. I think we need one more really good draw, and then maybe even if they don't miss, I think we're still like looking pretty good here. The fact that we get to start attacking as early as next turn, getting in for 7 is a lot, and our Oku's going to be at 8, so it's not even close to dying.
Hold drop.
Yep, I agree. Yep. We still just want to like draw Brainstorm. That comes up a lot when you play Delver. You just want to draw Brainstorm like, 60% of the time or something. That's probably why so many people play Valia and Chalice, because Brainstorm's so good.
The number of wins that I mize with an early Chalice of the Void is just absurd.
Yeah.
Like, I think Chalice of the Void is one of the most powerful cards in the Legacy format. Like, ignoring where the metagame is at any one given time. Just the ability to, like, cast that for 2 mana on turn 1 and invalidate a third of your opponent's spells is
totally
nutty.
Yeah, so Ephemerate would be good, as Lord Dogview was saying, but I think it's not even, like, horrendous for us, because we just get to recast anything. It is a little awkward. It would interact with us, it'd be annoying, but I think we'd be okay. That's probably one of the worst case scenarios, I would think. Palace Jail is probably the single worst case scenario.
Like, is Ephemerate actually that bad? Right? Like
It's not.
they just like blink, vents, or bounce the Tarmogoyf, attack Oko for 2. Like,
Yeah, exactly. We just make a 3/3 play Tarmogoyf. They get to do it again next turn, but it doesn't matter that much.
I think we're just looking to dodge Palace Jailer.
Yes, that is by far the worst draw for us.
Deputy of Detention and Palace Jailer are the things that are probably scariest.
Yeah. So they're not doing anything. And they didn't put in a 4-drop, so they don't have Palace Jailer. So what could be in their hand? They have the Silent Clearing. I don't know what they have. Ephemerate makes some sense because they're thinking about whether they want to use it. It's not that good here. That's a good point, White Faces. That would be a little annoying. Part of me just likes making it into a 3/3 and attacking.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
They don't need to know how bad my hand is. We'll just
Yeah.
get them dead before they figure that out.
Yeah. It does kind of feel like an Ephemerate, doesn't it? Right? Their pauses is a little weird.
Yeah.
They're thinking they didn't play a creature. Their deck is entirely creatures. They didn't Sword Spark as us.
So, like, it's possible we may run into some weird, like, block with Meddling Mage, Ephemerate it, or block with Venser, Ephemerate it, bounce the food token sort of things that are actually pretty good for our opponent. But I don't think, like, Oko exchange for their creature, like, is going to work out super well.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to lower the loyalty on Oko because, like, we need to be cognizant of Thalia's Lieutenant off the top.
Totally. Yeah, this looks like an Ephemerate. This pretty convincingly.
Yep.
Okay, it's not devastating. It's not great, but it's definitely not devastating.
Like, opponent has one more card in hand after this.
Yep.
So, like, this is cool and all. Eh?
That is weird.
They blocked that as well.
Yeah. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, cool. They'll take 3 and we'll replay Tarmogoyf. I mean, I have no qualms with this line. That seems wrong. Whiteface's line in the comments seemed like probably the most annoying thing for us, where they like bounce the Tarmogoyf, name it with Meddling Mage, but which of course we'd still be okay with, as you mentioned. But yeah. I think this line does not make a lot of sense.
And hold.
Let's see. What would make us want to play a land? Because they're probably going to bounce a thing.
Yeah, maybe we should play a land just to like play towards like drawing a cantrip and like wanting to play multiple things.
Yeah, but I think that's good.
And so like another awkward thing about these ephemerates is like when they ephemerate their Venser, they lose out on the ability of actually attacking with it.
Totally.
And so it doesn't really pressure our Oko super well.
Yep. And Oko is so messed up that they can't even bounce it to stop the loyalty because it only loses 2 loyalty if we did that. Yeah.
So I think opponent not bouncing the food last turn definitely put them into a worse situation.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So like now they're just bouncing the Tarmogoyf that they've already bounced.
Their ephemerate was basically just double unsummon, which that's a decent card, but it's not too bad.
And if they have like another Meddling Mage, I can like elk it and play the Tarmogoyf anyway.
Yep. So I think the worst draws for us from them would be Caracas and Palace Jailer. I think that's going to be true for like the remaining few turns of this game. Well, maybe not a few turns. This game might be going on for a while, but
I imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we draw Dread Hurricanist, in which case it will snowball out of control in 2 turns.
Yes. Nothing. They tapped mana. Maybe they were going to sack the Silent Clearing and decided not to. Well, all right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we can't cast it, so do we want to help the Meddling Mage? That's not too bad. I don't think they have an Ephemerate, right? Because they didn't just name Automawave.
Yeah, I think we're just crashing in with the... Are we just crashing in with the food first, then elking and playing our 2 creatures?
That looks good to me.
All right.
I don't think we need to hang back. We kind of want to kill them. Their deck does have some scary things. We want to kill them before they get it going.
It's a big boy. So Akula elk. Well, you know.
Let's see. They might have figured out that we drew a Delver.
It did seem like we telegraphed that a little hard.
Yeah. It's very difficult to imagine what's in their hand. I'll say that. Because they're not playing lands, which they want to play. They aren't. They could have ephemerated it again. I mean, it wouldn't have been that bad. They didn't sack the clearing, and they're not putting in 4-drops.
So my current theory is that it's just something that's horrendous against Oko.
Sure.
And just like playing it out would be worse than like holding it for later.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm not sure exactly what that is. Like, I don't know. Like something like Orzhov Pontiff, where just like playing it on the boards that we have. All right, Thalia's Lieutenant is pretty good here.
It's actually not that good, right? It just
it's an elk.
Yeah. So basically, they just did what we did. Oh,
that's a very good draw.
So we do have a choice with it because hitting the Silent Clearing is not bad, but Caracas is still one of our biggest concerns. But I think so. Here's what I'm thinking: if they draw Caracas, which could still be one of the most annoying things here, it's not even that bad because we can just Oko the Vial and Wasteland the Silent Clearing, and they can't cast Adventure so easily. Like they need a lot of mana for that. So even if that happens, it's not too bad. So I actually kind of like Wastelanding here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. And
are we turning both creatures sideways?
I think we only want to attack with the elk because their board has 2 3/3s and they can double block Automawave, and we'll only trade with one of them.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me.
And then next turn we get to attack with everything, and their life total's a lot lower, and that plays a lot worse. These are the kind of situations where I know we're winning by a pretty decent amount, but I'm just constantly considering what are their scary draws and never feeling so confident that I'm like, oh, I can't lose from this situation. They do have some things that would be impressive, but I think we're doing a really good job of keeping all of that in check.
We also have lines where if they, for some reason, are able to attack, like, we can just make a food and potentially just like swap it for one of their creatures to get a blocker out of the way.
Definitely. Yeah, giving them a food and to get the Meddling Mage is like, that's a removal spell. So I'm cool with that. See, Palace Jailer continues to be kind of awkward for us. It'd be bad, but
we might just beat Palace Jailer by bashing at this point with food.
Yeah, agreed.
Not 100%. Sure. That is not what they want off the top.
Yep, and we can suspect that they probably drew that. So they probably still have whatever that creature is that's bad against Oko. Okay, well, that gives us some more insurance. And I think we just probably food up and attack with everything.
Yeah, attacking with 3 creatures seems great here.
Yeah. Maybe worst case is them having Palace Jailer in combat, but I don't think that's likely.
No, I think they 100% play the Palace Jailer on their turn if they can.
Yeah.
And just turtle up, take the extra card, hope to draw into... Are they Source of Plowshare's deck?
Yeah, agreed.
Yes, they have 3 Swords to Plowshares main.
So they might like double block the Tarmogoyf. Okay, they're just gonna go for this line. Okay.
I'm very happy with this.
Yeah, same here.
It leaves them with no ability to pressure the Oko.
Yeah, because like their deck is basically has no level of. It doesn't make me afraid at all when they don't have any creatures. Like Delver's the same way, right? If we just don't have creatures, like we're not really a scary deck. And this is the same way. Like I don't know what they could possibly top deck to get through like a Tarmogoyf and a Oko a 10.
And they can't like cast a Deputy of Detention this turn.
Yeah. Sure, that's probably one of their better draws, but
yeah. But again, I still think we're on like Palace Jailer or Bust sorts of situations.
Agreed. Yeah, so we just make a food and keep trucking along.
So this technically does nothing in play.
Yeah, let's just leave it in hand. If we draw Brainstorm, we'll put back the shop and then we can do something. Or we'll just like find a ponder or something. We actually have found very minimal. Like, how many cards do we have in deck? 38? We've only seen one cantrip.
Yeah, we're on a very weird side of variance where Oko has definitely done work in carrying this game.
Yeah.
Deputy would be rough on this exact spot.
Yeah, agreed. That's what it looks like.
Oh no, it's just a prelate. That
okay. Scary for a lot of our lines, but not today. Not right now. Woody Mandrill, Tarmogoyf.
Yep.
Nice. Cool.
Seems good. Yeah, I don't even think I elk that. I think
nope.
This is just a dude.
Yep. Plus, it turns off their Swords to Plowshares. I mean, they've used 3, but I mean, nevertheless.
It turns off their Ephemerates.
That's also true. Well, Oko is messed up, Lord Dogview, but at the same time, I hate Sanctum Prelate so much. So, as the person who is often losing to Sanctum Prelate, I'll accept the situation. This is one of the benefits of Oko.
Like, Sanctum Prelate's good and all, but it's not like that great, right? Like, you don't see 4x Sanctum Prelate like on turbo decks running around in the format or anything like that.
Yep, totally. That is a very decent draw because now we can stop 2s and 1s.
Yep.
They have to double chump. We make a food, and then we have 3 lethal attackers next turn. Seems good.
Well, I guess they could go to 1, technically.
Sure, yeah.
But it's like not super advantageous.
This probably plays to their outs a little better because if they draw Deputy of Detention, then they get to go Deputy both of our foods on combat, and then use the Deputy to block the Tarmogoyf and open up the chance to draw us a Palace Jailer again. I don't think Palace Jailer does it here though.
Palace Jailer into Deputy of Detentions off the Monarch draw.
Yeah, that would be spicy. Very bad. Yeah, that we might lose to.
But like they can't cast anything. Like if they have to cast a card, yeah, GG's. What a
nice.
What a slog fest.
That was definitely a slog, but I'm really happy with how it ended up playing out. Our draw was so weird too. All we drew was Lightning Bolts and Okos and Tarmogoyfs, and it was just like that is why you play Vagella, right? We drew all the green parts of the deck. This was a pretty good demonstration of what like the green parts of the deck do. We got big. We played a Planeswalker. We disrupted them and just kept attacking. We just kept turning sideways at a certain point.
All right. So before we do our debrief here, thank you to Librarian Rhino, The Winterheart, Vob3971, Jerry Freeman, Alpha Kavu, Abrandi, Casey Dragon, True Andy, and Black Power 89. Thank you all for following or subscribing today and showing your support in one way or another to the stream. I hope you all enjoyed today's content. All right, so thoughts on the league?
I think it went kind of as I would expect. I think we performed a little bit better than maybe average against the Oko decks, the various like snow white decks. And that matchup's tough, but I think this deck has a lot of game against it. And the black one, they do have a lot of removal. They have a lot of ways to keep us off of doing anything. We need to draw Veil Summer in combination with like Oko at like the right times. It's very awkward. So, but everything kind of like went as I would have expected, right? We 2-0'd everything except the one we 0-2'd. So it's a pretty good run.
Yeah, very happy with how most of our matches played out. If there's one thing that I think was most apparent to me, it's that there's a very wide range of keepable hands with this deck, and you kind of have to sculpt your game plan very heavily around what your opening hand looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And this deck really allows you to plan really well. I think but I also think planning is absolutely essential to Delver decks. You really need to know how exactly you're going to convert your cards into meaningful resources. We played a couple of games where it was like, we have some bad cards in hand, and while we can make a bad exchange now, we get some value out of our bad cards if we lose a little bit of value. So let's just do that. We're only losing maybe like 75% of a card because it's not even that real of a card in the matchup, and we're going to maximize our good cards. And that really came up in against those Euro decks, right?
Yeah, the Baleful Strix and Ice-Fang Cool, all sorts of situations came up a whole lot.
Yeah, especially in the game where we had to draw the blue card to stop the Euro. We used every single bit of our resources. If we Pyroblasted the Ice-Fang Coatl, we might not have won that game. And instead, we traded away, our lightning bolts for those cards. We forced them to do awkward things that kind of look good for them, but we could maybe, the Dead of Winter play. That was pretty big. So finding ways to make your bad cards real cards in matchups is something that I think could benefit a lot of Delver players. So, and we did that a lot in these games.
Yeah, more generally, I think that's a great skill for people to work on, is like, how do I use these cards that are very bad in my matchups? Like, what are their roles? So
Totally.
like a super obvious example is like, okay, Mother of Runes is a terrible card against Eldrazi, but how do you use that card in the matchup? Well, you hope that you can use it to absorb 4 points of damage from a Thought-Knot Seer or something like that.
Yeah, you form a game plan where you can just start racing them, and that extra full life is very meaningful. Totally.
We'll talk about D&T some other day. So, Rich, do you have any kind of closing thoughts here, or are you going to be making any content that you want to plug, or where can people find you? What do you want to say here?
Yeah, I'm going to be writing an article that's going to be basically like a report and a breakdown of the deck. And I'm probably going to put that up on the MinMax blog. I mentioned that at the top. That's going to be good. I am probably going to start streaming a bit more, in this whole world situation. I'll be doing that at twitch.tv/LearnToLove6. I post a lot of Delver decks and random thoughts on my Twitter I'm at LearnToLove66 on there. I'm really happy we had the chance to do this. This is a lot of fun. Just a lot to learn and a lot of really good discussion, working through a bunch of different lines. This was a blast, absolutely. If you ever want me back, just hit me up. I will gladly come back on.
Yeah, so. I would love that. I'll maybe be in touch in a few months when things change around a little bit and there's a new version of Delver that everyone's eager to see.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be playing it. So,
all right. Thank you, everyone who watched me today. I'm going to go ahead and raid Reed Duke, and we'll see what he's up to. If you enjoy Legacy content, I'm going to be playing a lot this week. I am on spring break, so expect some streams at unusual times. Cheers, folks. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed.
Bye-bye.